Good, how are you?
I'm having a hug to get my meeting started.
You need a jacket.
Oh no, you said you're sick then.
You have to sit over there by Carl tonight, so you don't have to sit.
I'll sit down here.
Jane.
You can have my seat if you want.
I need a jacket. Are you turning that air down?
I didn't touch it.
Maybe I'll be all right. I don't know. I had my sweatshirt ready to bring in. I thought, my God, you shouldn't need a sweatshirt.
Just running
tonight.
in and out.
Oh, you're a young lady.
Good.
I took a walk today and I walked down the alley.
Oh, what it said, huh?
Glass down there. I just broke out. Hey, Mario.
Hey, young lady. How are you? I did. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Kim said thank you also.
Okay, thank you.
Just in case anybody else says if you don't have a quorum.
JR, he said that.
Okay, I'll let Jackie know.
Yeah, that was nice. Appreciate that. 2 weeks.
Do you need one for work session? I guess you do. Huh?
But I've been on antibiotics for a whole week and I'm done with that.
But
I thought that was just great.
I'm white.
Bronchitis.
I'm beyond gray.
Are you going to be able to make this tomorrow?
I told my dad they scheduled I couldn't.
Mike?
Does that cheer mean that much to you?
What chair?
The chair you're sitting in.
Everything I have, Mario, means that much to me. Being a little late.
So they don't get it paid off.
Hey, Jenny.
Then, man, I gave her a report there.
Came and gone.
Somebody asked me if I knew that was going on. I said no.
Okay.
Sir, this is your kid, Dallas. So I will get you in to any of those stores tomorrow. So you need to sign these for utilities.
Not, I got enough desk, I got enough filing cabinet. I do not see them in the building unless the business hours are open.
Thank you. That's fine, but I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Now, I do.
Thank you.
I'm glad you came tonight. So they're going to pay the full.
Jack off tonight?
She's off, yeah, she's off today and possibly tomorrow.
Who's the community? Where's that? Me and you can talk and give me some advice. Okay. All right.
So tonight what I'd like to do is I'd like to get
Well, you've got my number, so you'll call me in the morning and tell me what time.
How do we charge it too much because what it says up here, whatever this
Give
is?
me a chance to get everything going.
I got another doctor bill
They were
for
billed under
Alex.
this.
Yeah, can I email it to you? I know you're not here, but
I'll be here tomorrow.
you will. Okay, because I'm off Thursday and Friday again. So.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
So far, so good. Oh, thank you.
How we going? On the accounts payable, people that we overbill. I'm not going to get into who they are tonight because we're still in the
Okay. Yeah, I have people, like 10 people ask me a day. So that's why I just want that. Okay. All right, thank you.
Good, mate. How you been? I heard you had a birthday.
Thing for me.
How's your birthday?
8-10 times a day, I'd say.
Good, how are you? You are.
Yeah.
You have kids over at soccer today? Yeah, because
Nothing wrong with that.
Eli, that's my mom over there.
How you been?
Jessica pulled him in.
Good.
So I was wondering if it was going to be you, and but it was hers.
Oh, yeah. Something else.
Back at school.
How are you?
Back at school.
Yes, ma'am.
Bob, what's up? I don't know. She'll be here. Make a run?
I think the problem we're going to run into is because at this point, whoever rents it, they're going to borrow chairs from Agnes, chairs and tables.
Is that Arlene deals that done?
Is that Arlene Gills that does?
I know there's a lot of chairs and tables over there, but
Huh?
kind of event.
The young one.
You know what I mean? So,
Okay.
right.
No, Darlene. I think Darlene's. I think she's the youngest.
And that's the thing. I don't. I talked to Brad, and he said they usually get.
No, I think Darlene or
because she was the youngest.
yeah.
And I think she was 48 years old. I think the rectangular is
I know.
the best.
Somebody told me you had.
He was in a bad car wreck back here about 20 years. Remember, messed up.
I know some of the stuff they have.
Ain't nothing wrong with me.
I know moving it back and forth breaks them a lot too. Since that old center, it breaks the legs up a lot.
Well, if they're talking about me, they're leaving someone else.
That's what I told them. So they're talking about me and they're about somebody else. And I don't care what they say. Say anything they want to.
I haven't asked him
Yeah.
Let me give you
I just focus on
that means another hug.
I didn't know they were in
I just heard that today.
You know what? When we did rules and regulations, I never thought about
I didn't either. I sent people over there when they called the adult center for a youth event. They just did them though. Remember?
I don't know. I figured with tables and chairs. Depending on how big it is, I can't remember the occupancy. It's not that big. So, I was just going to bring it up to see if we have money,
Thank you.
if there's any money in there. Because I don't think it'll be. I can't imagine paying over $1,000. I don't know. But I don't know. Does Chase take that?
Those are just RBC plates.
We pay,
But
because that's how they got all their tables over there.
I mean, that's the only kicker is time frame. Because renting it out, the more people that rent it.
Yeah, I always send people there for like that, youth events like that. No one asked me about it. I didn't know there weren't any tables over there either.
I didn't either.
If you go,
Save you a trip too.
Yeah, because I'm going downtown tomorrow, just one.
Yep, that's it. Thanks. Shall we do Leslie? But you won't be here? Because I don't know if I don't know what she's doing. Hey Leslie,
know that
Mike said we won't be
I
here
mean, I
Thursday.
think this is the first person who's actually renting it.
Just
So,
in case, whatever.
Yeah, because that meeting, I just want you to know.
Our phone thing.
Yeah,
but
Is everybody
it's
gonna
out
be
there,
here?
there's no tables. and
Maybe
chairs.
we'll just take a roll
People
call
can
and
rent.
see.
You know?
that's why I want to make sure everybody knew that I wouldn't
They
be.
want this on the agenda.
It's Jackie's writing. They want a donation for breast cancer.
I don't see.
Hey. I don't know. She had her name for it on the agenda, and she told Diane, because I wasn't there, she told Diane you were going to do it. Yeah? She scratched out and put your name.
That's, should be.
Yeah. Sounds like that. He came back Friday, and the billion service thing that,
You have breaking here and there, getting moved around so much, but how many did they used to?
gets home, he's tired. Leslie, if not, I can email him and just do whatever we gotta do.
There's just enough to do the jamboree right now. There's like 22 maybe or something. But 3 of them. 4 of them.
Yeah, I don't know, because this is the agenda she left me, and she scratched out her name and yours.
Doing most stuff, probably like a couple of them. Yeah, I saw a couple of them.
We're ready?
Jeff Bittner and stuff like that. We like them a lot.
Everybody ready?
Well, good. He should be in with a permit next week.
Call Lawrenceburg Parks and Playgrounds meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Member Jane Pope.
present.
Member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Member Bill Bruner.
Here.
Member Mike Lawrence.
Here.
Member Paul Seymour.
Here.
City Attorney Leslie Votaw. Here. Utility Director Olin Clausen.
Present.
President Mayor Dennis Carr.
Here.
And myself.
Any announcements? Hearing none, approved minutes of previous meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Committee reports. Have none. New business, Kelly Milan, waive fees for Agner Hall.
Thank you. Kelly Milan. I'm here on behalf of our class. We're having a reunion on the 19th, 19th, Saturday. And just seeing if be okay if we waive the fees for the class.
What year?
What?
Wow.
2000.
Well, that's early.
1980. 1980.
That's not bad.
No, still young.
What's up to board? Board anything?
I'll make a motion to waive the fees for the class of 1980 reunion.
Got a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you very much.
Kelly, you still owe 100, the deposit.
We still owe it?
200. You've paid 100.
Okay.
You still owe 100. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll stop looking.
Okay.
Angie Bauer, not one more, Midwest. No show. Patty Bascom, waive fees for Agner Hall.
Hi, I'm Jean Fouch. I'm taking Patty Bascom's place. On behalf of Tri Kappa, we are having our annual fall bingo on October the 29th, and we already have Agner Hall reserved, so we would like to get the fees waived for that. We raise money and give over $6,000 in scholarships annually and other miscellaneous projects around town. We help support like Big Brothers Big Sisters, the Dearborn Clearinghouse, a lot of other things. So we would just like to have the fees waived for that.
Anything board?
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion, a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I have one more thing I'd just like to mention. I've been coming to meetings kind of sporadically for the last year or two, and I hear you sometimes turn away people that are asking for money because you're out of money in the budget. But we have money that we give to just assorted things that people ask for. So I brought a couple of my cards with my home address on them. If I could leave them,
Sure.
When you have somebody that you can't help, if they would send us a letter, there's a possibility we could help them.
Sure.
I mean, we don't have the money that the city had to give away, but, you know, I mean, I've tried to approach people if they...
Did you help the city?
I've tried to approach people as they've left the meeting,
All right.
you know, if I can catch them, but...
We'll even go to Jackie's office. Jackie usually gets
Either that or with Connie, too.
Yeah,
because
Connie
gets
too,
a lot
so.
of the agenda,
Sure,
so.
thank you.
Thank Just a note, also the $200 deposit, or do you
I think we
roll
already
it?
have ours, we let it ride from last time.
Roll it? Okay.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Jennifer Morton, Ivy Tech Community College, requesting free parking at garage.
Hi, I'm the advisor for Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society at the college, and we're going to hold a 5K on October 31st, Saturday morning, and we would like to request free parking at the garage. We've also requested approval for using the trail through the Conservancy District.
Thank the board. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bill Brunner, tables and chairs for Boy Scout building.
Yeah, I know not too long ago we did establish some guidelines and rental rates for Pioneer Cabin, Pioneer Hall, and I think we have our first renter. And conversation with the young lady, we did not purchase, and nor did I know or not know that we didn't have chairs or tables for Pioneer Hall. So what's going to happen is they're going to borrow from Agner Hall, which in return, depending on what kind of event we have over there for that weekend, are we going to be short chairs or tables? Those are the kind of questions.
No, we checked.
Depending on, I mean, the size of the event. I mean, I guess that's the big kicker.
For this particular event, we checked, there wasn't any conflict, but in the future,
Right. So just a concern that maybe we overlooked when doing the guidelines.
Yeah, we never figured any tables or chairs.
Do the Boy Scouts supply their own?
No, we had some left over from the office up at the job site, and we just donated.
Okay.
But they're small. I think they're probably
Not
just
for their purposes then?
yeah, they're
Boy
fine.
Scouts?
Yeah.
Okay.
But as Bill says, we have no other fixtures over there.
Can somebody get some bids to see what it would cost?
We can.
Tables and chairs?
How many would you like to try to seat?
What's the occupancy? I guess go off of the occupancy rate.
Well, I think it's high. You don't want that many chairs. I mean, we can do 99 people.
Something like
99 people in there.
180 or something like that.
99.
99. Sorry, I was way off.
Yeah.
Must be thinking.
But I don't think you don't want 100 chairs.
Right. Whatever.
Dennis?
Yes.
By the time we pay city help to move chairs back and forth, how long will it take us, Mario, to be able to, I mean, at some point, we ought to stock it with chairs.
We can get pricing tomorrow if that's the wishes of the board.
if I could just interrupt for a second, she's going to be responsible for doing that herself.
So she's going to go to Agner Hall, haul the chairs over to the
Yes.
building and take them back?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, you're right, that needs to probably stop, Paul. Let's, won't you get on price on tables and chairs both, and we'll go from there.
Bill made a suggestion earlier, probably one of the most fastest, convenient, and best place is just Sam's.
Well, I talked to Brad Massey, and he had stated that they had gotten tables and chairs from there before, just because it's a good price. But again,
We'll check the local office supplies, then we'll reach out also.
Okay.
And can we ask that the clerk treasurer looks into funding, if there's any funds for out of the parks?
We have money in 240, and that's for equipment and materials, so it would fit that need.
211? Or
271.
In our parks, 240.
Have we hit our cap on in our parks yet?
what kind of price do you think?
You're talking 50 chairs, 60 chairs. We want to get a storage rack also with them, so you can move them around and store them.
How about something pretty nice, 'cause you know it's something that's going to be real weak to tear up.
And how many tables do you think comfortably would fit in there?
I would go with the round tables as opposed to the long.
I suggest the other, but could you get bids on both?
Sure.
I think we probably will be the only quotes that we'll need, right?
Correct.
Okay. Any more, Bilbo?
That's all.
Old business?
I've got a question. Has there been mention of a plaque at the dog park for Gus? Or where's that at? If we can answer Ms. Holcraft's question.
We have not been directed to get a plaque yet.
We've got the sign made.
They put a sign up,
which
though.
is Gus's Dog Park. That was the only thing I was aware of.
Yeah, we didn't know anything about that.
Well, and I'll talk to her after the meeting. She asked that question. Okay.
Any more old business?
There is, Your Honor. I passed out the helmet inventory list for the parks. It's been almost a year in the making. It's somewhat of a menu. I would ask if the board would allow have Toby go up to that amount, 8,400 at least. He kind of pick and choose.
This repair, all these slides and all this?
It's for all the parks.
All right, it needs done.
Yeah. Again, it's been a year. And Les, this is sole source. This is the group that has the exclusive for the area.
That we bought the equipment from to begin with.
Correct.
You did go back to the original equipment?
This is who installed the original equipment. That's who we purchased it from.
Same manufacturer.
But you had a difficult time getting hold of them for over a year, right?
Yeah, actually, the installer is no longer in business. This was the supplier
Oh,
and the
so this is
manufacturer.
the original supplier,
Yes.
not the original contractor.
No.
So who will be doing the work?
There's another contractor that these people will furnish. Toby's going to do the small stuff himself, install the slide caps and clevis, chains.
I don't think you had to be certified just to put up the slides.
Well, they're actually going to come back in and certify the work.
Okay.
That's fine.
But again, it's like a menu. Not to say he'll use all 8,400.
Pleasure, board.
I make a motion to allow the Parks Department to spend up to $8,490 to repair everything at the parks.
Your second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you.
Move along.
Again, Suzanne, that's 240.
Okay. Review and discuss claims board approval.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjourned. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Board of Works, as soon as you get seated.
He wasn't here.
Okay. Hold on, so I'll put it back in session just so we can go through her. Is that all right, the board? Okay, come on up, miss. I'll put it back in session just for you.
Process, working process, that's what I say.
My name is Angie Bauer. I represent an organization, Not One More, here in the tri-state Midwest area. We have been before your council before. We are a organization for support for families who have been touched by heroin and opiate addiction. We've had other organized events. We had a walk last June, and we're having another event, fundraising event, that's coming up in October. It's going to be at the Lawrenceburg Fairgrounds that we've reserved. I came to ask for the council permission for just a couple of items that we would need to have a walk. The proposed walk is a 5K. We had originally hoped for a 10K, but I walked it with my husband yesterday, and it was quite warm and very long. I think parts of it seemed to be a little bit of busy traffic, so we thought we'd either stick with the 5K or let people do the 5K twice. I have a map. I'm not sure how much information you'd like to hear from me now versus I have insurance. My arts and my amusements and entertainment license I need to renew. It's time to renew. We're going to have arts and crafts, food, music. I'm not sure if there will be live music. If so, it'd be pretty small duo or something. We're going to have Agner Hall. We've got that reserved for probably 50 to 60 crafters. We have speakers and resource, so we have lots of tables of information for people to come and get resource information on treatment. We do need some assistance from the city. I know that we did before. We got tables and chairs, and we would need that again. I know we would need bathrooms unlocked and trash, recycling, canisters available. The parking lot use, that when we rented the facility, they said we could use some of the outdoor area. There would be no racing or anything going on that weekend. They had no other events.
What date do you have it? What date do you have?
October 17th and 18th. It's a 2-day event. The walk is the 17th at 10 o'clock in the morning.
I think the 16th they have a race. I don't think they do the 17th.
They said no, but, you know, things change.
I think the 16th they got a makeup race or something.
I see. So we would just use the immediate outdoor area. I didn't know whether, they asked on my renewal if there was a floor plan of Agner Hall in a PDF form to submit for the license.
You guys have that?
You have that, okay, great. And if I didn't know if there was set up for PA system, any kind of speaker system.
We've
for
got
music?
PA, yeah.
There is a PA?
Yeah,
Fire department.
no, Pat and them made a podium and everything. Got a PA system to it.
We do have some speakers who share their stories, and hopefully some community speakers, and hopefully, some people from legislators are going to hopefully be there. So I'm not sure if you had, I know last time there was a barbecue, but it wasn't something I could borrow. Kind of one of the big barrel type where you can cook some hamburgers.
We don't have anything like that.
You don't have anything in the city garage? Okay. We'll find something. Mainly, I think the walk is the biggest part where we need some assistance crossing. Last time we had the walk, we had assistance. We had people on the corners. The police came, blocked off a couple of areas. I tried to make it as efficient as possible with where the crossings would be and whether we could use existing sidewalks.
You have a map of all that?
I do.
Can you give it to the police department, Mr. Miller, there? They'll be able to help with any.
They'll go through it and check it out.
One question I did have, as I was walking down Ridge, there's a sign, "Welcome to Greendale." We were planning to be like maybe 10 feet into that sign. I didn't know whether there was someplace I could look to see where the borders are, because I'm not sure if I'm going to have to actually go and get permission from Greendale as well, if I'm a little bit in that part of the county.
He'll be able to work with you.
It would be able to help
Brian.
me. Okay.
Does it look like it's in Greendale at all?
What is the levee? Whose property is the levee on?
The levee behind the school is both Greendale and Lawrenceburg.
So we were going to walk across the levee. So I should go tomorrow then and at least talk with them as well.
So say the
Yeah, Conservancy District.
It'd be the Conservancy District for the actual levee, if you're going to walk on top of the levee.
And over by the river too, is that the case? Yeah, because we
Paul,
would.
you help around that, Paul?
You can walk on it all you want. You're fine.
You.
We've had that conversation before.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So we're hoping at least 100 people for the walk. That's our goal. So just walking and banners and then raising some funds with craft sales and bake sales. And
You've already booked it with clerk treasurer? Okay. Brian, would you help around on that?
You have some streets on here. Were you planning on the streets being shut down? Were you planning on making it to sidewalks? How were you planning on proceeding on that?
well, I think as much as possible, I don't want to shut down any street. A couple of times what they did before is they gave us the parked car and a little bit of the lane just so that if we had a little bit of extra walking, there was a couple of places. A lot of it doesn't need it. I think we could do sidewalk on Ridge. In Lawrenceburg, downtown, it'd be nice to have a little bit more of the room, just there's not as much traffic at, that time of the day. And then walking all along the levee to the area where there's the shelter and the tunnel starts, and then just to come back around. If we could have some it would be nice. It's hard to have a sign, and really the whole idea is for us to get the community to see what's going on, Sometimes if you're just walking along the sidewalk, you just don't get it. So wherever it would be able and not, a hardship, it would be great to have part of the street.
My concern would be that if you're talking about a 5K, a lot of 5Ks tend to stretch out. Not all the walkers
Trail.
or runners go the same pace. Is that kind of what you're looking at more kind of like a march where everybody stays in a group?
We what we did before is everybody kind of, it's like a shotgun start. So everybody will cross the street and, 50 right over into the Hollywood right away. That should be pretty short closure. Coming back across from Whiskey's to CVS, we just sort of waited. I mean, we're not racing. We don't have time clocks, you know. We hang out and drink our water bottles and wait for, you know, the good portion to catch up. So it would be as short as possible. You know, completely willing to do that.
I think we can work it out.
Okay. Work with Brian, and Mario, you can probably meet with her about some stuff she needs to.
Not a problem.
Our phone number's there on the, it's in the packet there, so.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, I need a motion, Journal. Go ahead.
There was one thing I should have mentioned as far as the Boy Scout cabin. Right now, there's no janitor service from the city provided, nor are we stocking any materials in there.
That was part of our license with it, right?
I think it was.
Yeah, that we were going to
Yes.
stock all the toiletries.
Okay, give a Brad tomorrow.
License.
They'll have to have a schedule like when people are in there, so.
Right. Well, I think the Boy Scouts are in there on Thursdays and Sundays.
And I think the agreement, the Pioneer, the one, you know, to the public, said that they were responsible for cleaning everything up. And if they don't, then we can charge them the janitorial fees for someone from the city to come and clean it.
So you want to take a look at that before we do any cleaning on it, though?
Well, I mean, this is the first one, so, yeah, I'd say we probably would need to clean to get it ready, right? But, I mean, it should be clean anyway. I think the Boy Scouts are doing what they need to do, but, yeah.
Well, they're boys.
If that's not the case.
They're
then-
boys, and it's not all that clean.
Yeah, I've heard it's not very clean.
We'll give a Brad tomorrow. He probably have him clean up the first one.
We can give the Boy Scouts a call. Have those little Boy Scouts get in there and clean it up. But I can call and see.
Okay.
Okay. Need a motion adjourn.
So move.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Board of Works is seated.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, Robbie.
We need.
The church.
Thanks.
Sir?
I need to make sure everyone's going to be available because Mike said he wasn't going to be able to be here and Bill was still working, so. And then we'll have a work session Thursday. Yeah, hold on a second. Yeah, it's not one of these that Mike has listed. So you can bring it up during your report if you want to, and
See where the counter.
let me, Leslie. We had some bids, we have painting for the fire.
Long way up there.
They would have to pass it subject to your approval. They do with Mike. But it's not on the agenda, is what I'm saying. Can you bring it up during Board of Works? Not that one.
I bet it got to him. I bet it got him.
We can bring it up on the business.
I bet it. What should I tell him about it?
What is it now for?
What's that? Up there. Should I tell him about it?
Cleaning?
Fire station painting project quote. There's only one. Yeah.
She's gonna ask. Leslie.
I'll bring it up.
The day they scheduled this, I told him I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
I can open it.
We'll send
I
her.
Mike told him.
I just didn't know.
So we just need to, the thing is that we'll have to.
Said that they were
Right.
going about it.
Yeah, so my suggestion is that go ahead and have her meet with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
By road?
Mine too. Oh, yeah.
I
worked till 5.
No, he's talking about area.
He's having fun.
So we're gonna have to cancel the work session.
He's having fun. Appreciate that. Well, thanks for all the good work.
Everybody ready?
More like
I don't know about that.
Yeah, like I said, more like his mom.
Donnie?
He's quiet like his mom. Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, yeah. Good to go?
Ready, Mario?
Yes, sir.
Call Board of Works meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Member Donnie Bryant.
Present.
Member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Member Bill Bruner.
Here.
Member Mario Todd.
Here.
Lieutenant Brian Miller.
Present.
Deputy Fire Chief Rob Schutte.
Present.
EMS Director Bobby Mills.
Here.
City Attorney Leslie Votaw. Here. Utility Director Olin Clausen.
Present.
President Mayor Dennis Carr.
Here.
And myself.
Any announcements?
I have one question. It's for the building inspector. It's the status of the 440 Walnut, if he's heard from the owners of that building.
Yes. Contact. It's another one of those situations where it is bank in their hands. We have a deceased person that it really belongs to nobody that wants to take credit for it. But I think we've made a little progress. We've met with them, and they've talked about the 2 or 3 different options of demo, a list of repairs, and that was probably, I'd say our last was 30 days ago. And we keep giving out the same feelers of fix it or do whatever they got to do with it. But it's one of those situations where when nobody owns it, it's hard to enforce something on nobody that owns it.
Yeah, I remember the lady from the bank was present at one of the meetings, but she acted like it was going to move kind of smooth, so I wanted to check up
Never moves that
on it.
smooth.
All right. What bank was that? You remember? I guess give me an email.
It's on my, I can give it
Okay.
to you. It's on file. We've got a pretty good file on it.
Okay.
There's nobody to contact to make him enforce, but and when it came down to it, we could do an unsafe building against the
Well, I
bank.
would probably discuss that with legal before we made a.
Okay. Any more announcements? Okay, approve minutes previous meeting.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, committee reports. Fire department.
I got a few things, Mayor, and I want to apologize that I am on shift, so if I do get something, I'll have to step on it for that to cover my truck. First thing I want to start off with our monthly incident reports. We have 57 total incidents for the month. 10 of them were incidents with fire, 23 were incidents without fire, car wrecks, and 24 were incidents which we assisted with the EMS. So we had 57 for the month, gives us a total so far of 395 runs, and I installed 3 car seats this month already for that. Takes care of that part. I want to give a big thanks out for the city for helping out with the Special Olympics fire truck poll we had Saturday. Had a really good turnout. Raised some money. Had 9 teams this year to poll, so that went really well. Just to keep you guys on a note that both our aerials were down at one time. A couple weeks ago, one has been repaired for brakes. That was the tower, the 105-foot. It had brake issues, and it had some water seals in the waterway. That's been repaired and back in service. In our 75-foot ladder, the computer ring went out, and we got that fixed. So they're both back in operation. Now those down 2 different times for those incidents in the city garage worked well to mitigate that and get that fixed and back in operation. Chief was on vacation, so he didn't get a chance to put this in your packet. I'd like to ask permission from the Board of Works and the mayor tonight to bring up the purchase of a utility trailer. I gave you a copy up there. We're currently using a 16-foot utility trailer from the city garage to haul the barricades to and from the Music on the River, but it's not big enough to put our mini brush unit on it, or if there's an incident where you got to take the Bobby's EMS unit along with it. And we've also have acquired by donation 1,300 gallons of foam from American Electric Power Plant, and some of these are in big totes, or 270 gallons, so you're looking at a little over 2,000 gallons per tote. What we're proposing to buy, and we have the money in our budget, is a 20-foot, 14,000-pound, almost like a rollback style trailer with a winch on. We can pull this equipment up there and get it to where we need to go. Right now, with the utility trailer we're using from the city, we have to get hose ramps and try to get these vehicles on and take them to mutual aid grass fires and stuff like that. It can be a tedious pain and kind of unsafe, so this would be ideally for multi-purpose use. I have 3 bids. The first one come in with State Line Trailers. They come in at $7,985. The second one came in from Lawrence Motorsports at $7,825, which was the cheapest. And then we sent a bid out to this PJ Trailers. They did not quote. So we're looking at $7,825. The money is budgeted in the non-reverting fund, but it's labeled under diagnostic equipment. It should have been labeled under some type of utility trailer, but I have a number if she needs a number or whatever the board wants to do with this.
Anything on the board? Entertain a motion.
I'd so move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Can you provide the number?
I'll give it to you after this next one right now. I can read it off to you if you want it.
Real quick, yeah, please.
It is number 41001452. It's labeled under diagnostic equipment under 10,000 in there to cover that. There for that.
Thank you.
Last thing I have here is my lieutenant Ernie Thigi. He is one of the members of the Indiana Pipe and Drums bagpiping brigade we have. They want to do a 9/11 remembered agenda for September the 11th at 9 a.m. at the clock tower. I just want to let everybody know that, and especially the Board of Works and the City Council also, they'll be having an agenda presenting of the colors, national anthem. They're going to have somebody sing that, a prayer by, we have 9 actually ordained ministers that are working with the fire departments now. So we have chaplains and stuff. They're going to do a prayer. I think Chief Tremaine's going to make some remarks there. And then they're going to play Amazing Grace and some prayers each time one of the events happened, whether it was the first trade center, the second trade center, when they made an attack on the Pentagon, and then when the other plane went down. The timeline, you want to do something in memory of 9/11. A small, it's not really going to be real big, but you just want to make sure that the news media and the Board of Works is on board with this before we go any farther. If there's any questions, or me or Chief Tremaine, if the board says we can do this.
Yeah, very good.
So it started right around what time?
Starts at 9 o'clock when they're going to start the opening ceremonies at the clock tower, dedication of the clock tower there again on Walnut Street. And it'll last till all the planes have hit their targets.
Very good.
There'll be a closing prayer, inviting all the public to come down. Otherwise than that, that's all I have at this time.
Thank you, Robbie. Police Department.
Nothing to report.
The EMS Director.
Yeah, I brought up the last meeting about our building situation. Dearborn County no longer going to provide, and I brought proposals for ABS building out of Elkhart, and want to know if our attorney is ready to bring that up tonight.
It's on the agenda. A resolution. I have a resolution and amendments.
She said she's going to have a resolution in September.
No, it's on the agenda. I said. It's
Oh, tonight?
yeah, tonight.
Oh, it says September.
It's on page 2.
Okay.
Anyway, I was just refreshing everyone's memory on the rates, and also the we have until October 1st to find a new company. So, and if this is approved, we're going to settle pretty quick to get this done in 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks.
Good.
So to keep the building going. That's all I have.
Okay. Building Department, Carl Fryman.
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to inform the board that we've started doing most of the yards and trimming with the Civil City help ourselves in-house. That was a big thing. We was always concerned a little bit about liabilities and different things like that, but I go with the crews, and we've been pretty fortunate a couple times with the stuff that's in the yards. But I feel like that me and Leslie are working on a ordinance that if I'm not charging at a particular time to do little bitty things, that 18 inches of grass doesn't even come into play with us. We just go get them cleaned up and work it out at that point. I wanted to inform you is that we are doing them ourselves now. So, that being said, and then the last thing I'd like to bring up is we've had some contact from Mr. and Mrs. Kreider on the Liberty Theater. I would like to get some direction from the board on this. Kind of at the point here on this one that I think it's kind of long enough. That some guidelines and some dates need to be set. And seeing how that I can't be the one that does that, I would have to need something out of a discussion or different things from the board. And if you have any questions.
I think last time we visited at this board, it was to make it safe, which I think was the loose metal, picking up the nails. Now, was there a time period after that that the work had to start?
Was there a time period? I'm not sure. I was under the assumption that once it was secured, that this procedure was going to take off. I mean, with all my conversations, I believe that's the way I feel about it.
Did he assign a architect on Sunday, was it?
I believe they did it on a Monday.
Monday, or was it?
Is the date that 9/7 Kendall Bales with Rizzo Engineering.
So you've made they made contact with you then?
Yeah, Rizzo has. There'd be no misunderstanding. I'm not passing this project off to Rizzo. He's going to do the inspections because he has a stamp. I will still bring up my concerns as the building is unfolding in front of us. I mean, that's the way the building department will work. I mean, he doesn't have sole possession of this building. We're not giving that up. Because he has a architectural stamp, we're using his structural ability to, this needs to pull out, that needs to be pulled out, this doesn't need to be, and I'll be there with him. Because eventually, I mean, the building has a building permit and it'll need a certificate of occupancy. And
this has been dragging on for quite a while.
Can we have Pat address the board?
Is she here, Pat?
I have put together for you sort of a timeline of our efforts on this building. For the most part, it's accurate. Some of these dates may not be totally. From the inception of the project, which actually we started in October of 2013 on this project. You'll see at the top.
For the meeting.
And I think the last time I was here, I can go through all the steps, but I don't think you want me to do that. But the last time I was here, we told you, Mayor, I told you that the construction was supposed to start within a week.
Right.
That was because we had signed a contract, paid a deposit, and were told our project was starting within a week. We were ecstatic to finally get this going. Well, one week led to another, to another. I have a whole series of texts. I have downloaded them and copied them. I will be happy to share them with you. Somehow our project was the next project up for this contractor. Somehow another project got wedged in between there. So we were all the way to July, and he still had not begun our project. So at this point, we're really losing some patience, as you can well imagine. Then on August 4th, I got a really nice email that he had a motorcycle accident and was not going to be able to do our project because he had 2 surgeries and was not going to be able to do anything for 10 entire weeks. So we started immediately after that contacting contractors again. As you can well imagine, that's not a great time of the year to have to be trying to get something done in the fall. But that's the position he put us in. Still don't have our deposit back, so now we have an attorney. So now that's a whole another story that you all don't need to be concerned about. That's our concern. Since then, we've talked to several contractors. We have one bid. We're waiting 2 more. We're speaking with another contractor in the morning. The problem that we're running into on this building, and, you know, if we go down the road and you know, I understand we're probably the first building you're going to go after, there are going to be more, they may encounter these same problems. When they look at the building, they are not at all overwhelmed by the project. That's not the problem. The problem comes in when they have to give you a bid, because it's an old building and there's a lot of unknowns. Some of them are hesitant to even give you a bid. We've been so frustrated. The other day we spoke with Mr. Rezzo and asked him to please help us, not just during the project, but helping us to get a contractor on board. And so we have actually signed an engagement agreement with him. He is going to help us get somebody on board. And we had about an hour-and-a-half meeting this morning with the Rezzo staff on how we might approach this project so that the potential contractors have a little more of a comfort level with giving you a number on this building. That seems to be the real obstacle. And I think anybody else who's got old buildings and going to be in a position we're in may be encountering the same thing. So hopefully we're going to have a process in place where we can do that. I'm hoping, really hoping, and I think there's a very good chance, based on the contractors we've talked to, that we can get this started by the end of October. But we have tried very, very hard. It's certainly not for lack of attempting to get this going. It's not that at all.
Go ahead, Mario.
I guess I got a question for Pat, is that loose metal and the nails, the neighbors are still putting up with that. As of today, with the photos that were taken, last time you were here, I think Bill was here, we said you got to make it safe.
And I thought he said something about he was going to try to, there's one piece on that side that he was going to try to do something
I think the one
about.
piece fell off over the weekend.
Yeah, so that might be the one he was going to address. Yeah. We're trying to hold things intact until we can get to this. But, you know, I'm really not certain what else to do. I mean, short of getting up on a ladder and doing this work myself, which I'm totally not capable of doing, but that's almost to where we're to that point. I feel desperate, I'll be honest with you. But today, we did have a good conversation, and I think they're going to be able to help us identify a contractor and give them a comfort level with giving us some numbers.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, I understand everything she's saying there, but I'm going to have to just tell you, since 2013, the problem is the reason I want a guide, something set down. Since 2013, I've had a report. Rizzo has a report. We have shared those 2 reports. There are hardly any difference in these reports of what they're asking. The problem with this job is when I try to tell the contractor, here's the report, Bill and Pat are not giving them the same report of the work that needs to be done. I know this for a fact because they come back and I said, this is the report. I had the very conversation today with Rizzo. We're on the same page at what needs to be done. And what I'm saying is, if you wait till September the 8th to finally turn the contractors over to Rizzo for what needs to be done, it was never going to get done anyway. I mean, these have to be, this is structural. This is something that from day one, I was trying to give it to them. And nobody wanted me to give it to them. Rizzo is now going to give it to them. And his report is going to be no different than the report that I gave you on, I don't know what day it was, but it was 2013.
there's problems about the structural too. It's Boeing and
I'm going to say that that building in the report, I'm not an expert in it, but I've seen a lot of buildings. I'm going to say that that building is actually in worse shape today than it was when the report was done.
And I get a lot of complaints, Pat, about the looks of that building. I get a lot of complaints.
And I understand that. I understand that. I will say, though, that when we had the original contractor, who was the gentleman with whom we signed that contract, he met with Rezo. I think it was on the 8th, the city requested that we bring on a structural engineer. It must have been about, I think about the 15th or 16th, somewhere in there. The contractor, the two of us, and the Rezo staff met. We thought we had everything in place as per your request, because we thought we had somebody on board that was going to do this job, and Rezo was right there with him and told him what the scope was and what was to be done. We thought we had all of this taken care of. And that's what I'm telling you. And there really is a lot of misunderstanding and miscommunication about what needs to be done on that building. And, you know, basically, it's the same thing. You need to repair everything that needs to be repaired, and we can't reskin it until the building is solid and stable. That's the instruction that everybody has been given. That's nothing more than what we agreed to with Carl and what Mr. Rezo's agreed to. So wherein the miscommunication lies, there's a lot of people and there's a lot of miscommunications.
But we have a homeowner that's bulging in on his side. I think he's real worried about it caving in on his property. And I'd be concerned about it too if I was him. We need to do something about this.
Our intent was to have it done by now. That's all I can tell you. I mean, it's been very frustrating summer for us, thinking we had this taken care of back at the end of May. Finally, after a long time, we had it taken care of. It's still not. All I can tell you is we're talking to somebody tomorrow. I seem to get the feeling from a couple of the contractors that can be addressed in October, excuse me. And that's, I don't know what else to do. I honestly don't. Because, as I said, we've done everything that we know how to do.
Go ahead.
I'm just going to say, I don't think there's been any miscommunication. From day one is exactly what I've told them. She just repeated it, of what had to be done. I don't know what the miscommunication would be, except for the fact that when the contractors would come, they didn't have the same scope of work. I've talked to probably 4 different contractors that did not have the same scope of work that the reports had. I've had scopes of work from everything from purlins and siding, no roof job, no inspections of any structural, just skin the thing and walk away from it. And I said, until you read this report, this is all I have.
The state of Indiana was inspecting this, what will they do?
Do you want to know exactly what they'll do? Because I've already called them.
Yeah, I'm asking.
State of Indiana will come down and there will be a state release required. You will have a full set of drawings for structural. Upon my request, they will do the inspections on it, and I believe theirs are $680 a visit. Now, for the city's sake and my department's sake, I mean, I have never spent 2 years on a project since I've been here. I can talk, this is what we need to do, and I can walk away, and I think everybody's on board. And I've been miscommunicated, I don't understand it, this is not what, there is a report, you cannot misunderstand it. It's the original. I even thought I gave her the wrong report once and left out some pages, made another trip down there, and she has that report. I don't want anybody to think that, well, I have not communicated anything away from that building except that report. I've spent 45 minutes with Rizzo on the phone. He fully understands his part of that. He is a stamped engineer. But we will inspect it together, but we are the building department. And you know what? If I have a question about a thing, he'll have to answer it too. It wouldn't be the first time that me and an engineer had different outlooks on things.
In your opinion, is it unsafe?
The way it sets, I will put it to you that it does not meet our city ordinance for a habitable building. It is a commercial building being used, and that was the part that me and Mr. Rizzo talked about today. We're not talking about the back part of that building. We're not talking about the center part of that building. There are 0 lot lines in that building. It is all one building. Something happens into the back, there's nothing to stop it from coming to the front. I have talked to the fire department. They have a do not enter because of life safety.
The do not enter is unsafe.
I have talked to my utility director. He's been inside it. If the power goes down, we're under the same agreement. It will have an electrical upgrade.
I understand that.
But there's where we stand on it. But today, when now the contractors are going to start going through Rizzo to get the bid, that should have been step 1, not 2 years ago.
I agree.
Not today.
Carl, we thought we had a contractor. We thought that contractor not only spoke with Rizzo, he spoke back in February on a conference call with Andy Girdham, who is the same gentleman who wrote the report that you have. We did everything we thought we had to do to assure that that project was on the right track, from him talking to Andy to him meeting with Rizzo staff.
I know the contractor and I know all of them.
So we did everything we knew how to do.
Except
to
finish the
assure.
building. That's what we're trying to say.
Well, right, but we expected, I'm not capable, that's why I said, if I could, I'd be up on that ladder tomorrow doing it. I don't think I have the abilities to do it. I wouldn't even know where to start. But short of doing that, I'm relying on a contractor. You know, we've had 2 houses since we've lived in Dearborn County. We have numerous commercial buildings. We've had numerous projects done, all by local contractors. I have never run into a situation like this one with this contractor.
And I would suggest with that experience, you should have
Right.
known somewhere in 2 years that he wasn't coming.
First of all, we didn't work with him for 2 years.
I mean, this
This
project.
date goes
This
back.
project.
This project goes back to when I went, and I don't know, I think you were doing it at the same time, but I went and secured and paid for an engineering study on our behalf too. So that's where that started. This contractor didn't come in until we talked to him a little bit last fall. Then we decided in February to go with him. We didn't sign a contract till we were the next project on his schedule. And
This
we
is
were
exactly
supposed
what
to
I'm
be in a
saying.
week.
A timeline
So-
needs to be.
Pat,
Yeah.
aren't you a little bit worried about, his report and Rizzo's report for liability? I mean, they're both saying the building's unsafe. Wouldn't you feel good, moving them people out of there just until you get this project straightened up?
The front of the building and the back of the building are 2 very distinct
He just,
structural differences.
was you listening to what he said? It's all one building?
I didn't feel that the people in front were in.
Well, I don't think you're qualified, and I am not either, but, we got a man there, we're trying to let him do his job and trying to back him.
I understand that. I understand that, and we are trying to cooperate and get this done. So all I can tell you is that we're trying to get this done. I'm hoping somehow we'll find somebody to do something yet this fall. I mean, I guess we have to pay whatever we have to pay to secure the building and to get the project started. We don't have any other choice. This gentleman has put us in a really difficult position.
This is not new. This is something that's going on for quite a while.
Oh, yeah.
I
We're
know.
going to have to do something, or we're going to move to a different direction.
That's why I'm
One of
looking
the
for
things
guidance
that-
from the board. Put some guidelines.
Well, you need to do that within the unsafe building
That's what-
arena. You need to, we need to have a hearing and set those guidelines. And that can come from your original order. I mean, if the board wants to go that way. That would definitely give some timelines, though, because they can't vote today on any timelines. I'm sure they could give you some suggestions if they have any suggestions, but I think the proper way to do it would be to set it up for a hearing.
That's probably where we need to go.
Well, let's
Now
do
we're
it.
going to be here 6 months with this whole same thing. We need to put a stop to this.
I certainly hope you won't be here in 6 months.
I hope we're
because
not.
I
here,
don't
Pat.
want to be
This has been
here.
going on for decades.
I don't want to be here either.
So Les, what's the process then?
I would ask for a hearing from the Board of Works, set a date for an unsafe building hearing. At that point, we would present you the very same reports that we have. She can present her reports along with it. At that time, the board will either deem the building unsafe or not, according to the reports. And at that time, the clock starts. There are certain dates that this has to be done, this has to be done, and this has to be done. And it's kind of where I wanted to go to begin with. I would have never thought it would hang on this long. But that process, our ordinance are set for this very thing, that it doesn't drag forever. There is no reasons under our ordinance that you don't start something.
Okay, we'll set up a date for a hearing, and we'll move on from there.
Your Honor, I'd so move to do that.
What are we going to expedite a meeting, or?
I could have a meeting right after this, it wouldn't bother me, I could just go get the reporter tomorrow, anytime.
We can't have a meeting after this.
You have to
Personally,
advertise it.
we've been talking about this for a while, and you know, it looks like you've had a lot of issues, but on the same token, you know, Carl's been fairly patient, and he's been in front of us several times, and
Yes.
you know, it's getting to the point for me, you know, we're sitting up here allowing this to go on, and the liability is in more than your court, Pat, because we're listening to this and we're not doing anything. So I think we have to do something. We have to put a timeline, a very strict timeline, and then just.
You could also do your preliminary letter. There's never been a preliminary letter sent out, correct?
No, we never got the unsafe building hearing, and what I would probably do for this board is present each one of you with a copy, one-on-one, so you can read the timelines and how this thing is going to take place, so that when we come up here, you'll see the selections of it that we've set. It will not only be the unsafe part of it.
So what do you need, Les, for advertisement? 48 hours?
Yes.
Let's call a special meeting, let's get moving.
And, you know,
Donnie's made a motion, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I need a second.
I'll second.
Some discussion.
Yeah. Just, I mean, and I'm not a contractor by all means, but I do have some friends and no friends that are contractors, and I know in the wintertime, it often gets slow, so I can't imagine, you know, not being able to find someone to want to make some money.
Well, our hope was to have it done before the winter. I mean, that's where
I
we're going
understand.
right now. We're going, trying to get somebody yet this fall. And several of the contractors that we talked to could not get us in yet this year, so that's why we're still talking to others.
And within the 48 hours, or as soon as the meeting is set, if Mrs. Kreider is to contact our office, that we have a signed contract with a contractor and a starting date, I will inform Leslie and she can contact us and we can cancel the meeting. But I think it's imperative that we get something on paper, that either the meeting starts for an unsafe, or I have a signed contract at the office, and this is our start date. And I can live with something if it's pouring down rain that day, trust me, she knows me. But if I've got something signed and this is the start date, I'll share it with the neighbors, I'll share it with everybody so this thing can go away. If
So
it
you're gonna
happens
go ahead and
before the
post it
meeting.
then?
Let's set up a meeting for 5:30 Monday hearing. You put that?
Can't do that.
Can't do what?
Redevelopment's at 5.
Yeah.
Oh.
Um,
Tuesday?
Uh,
Make it Tuesday?
If you want to have it before, I could have a 4 o'clock meeting Monday.
Bill doesn't get off till
Oh, that's
5.
it. All right.
Let's do it at the redevelopment.
We can do it right after redevelopment if you want.
You anticipate redevelopment going very long, Grant?
Better do it another date then, because
That's
everybody
fine.
there is not on.
How about Tuesday at 5:30?
No, we could do it after the
I can do
redevelopment
it
meeting.
anytime.
Well, it's up
I
to
say
the
we just
board.
do it after redevelopment.
We'll do it
That
after
means board
redevelopment.
members have to come in.
You have to have time, don't we?
Well,
We have a set time. You have it done in an hour?
2 hours?
Yeah, I'd say we get it done in an hour.
6:30.
Oh, Mike's pretty quick. He's been on a record pace here lately.
Let's set it up for Tuesday. Let's set it up for Tuesday for 5:30. That way we know we got a meeting. Okay.
That's-
Could you put that on
I won't be able to make it.
Tuesday, you want?
No.
Let's do Monday at 6:30.
Give or take, I think.
Monday at 6:30? He can't make it Tuesday either.
You
How about
got-
Monday at 6:30? I'll make sure you're out there. We'll close the meeting.
It'll be done. There's not that much on the agenda.
All right, Monday at 6:30. How about that, Donnie?
That'll
Make-
work.
Everybody else make it?
Thank you.
I need a motion for that.
So move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Monday at 6:30. Suzanne, you'll,
I got it.
okay, thank you, Pat.
Okay.
What's that address,
And
Carl?
hopefully, if it works out, we'll have a contract by then.
I hope so, too.
I hope so, too.
Just an unsafe hearing.
Border Works, special meeting. Unsafe hearing, unsafe
Don't
building
have-
hearing.
I don't know.
Got it?
Okay.
Sorry it took so long.
That's all right. Moving on to new business, I got a proclamation, September Hunger Action Month. Whereas hunger, poverty issue is a grave concern of the United States, the state of Indiana, Dearborn County, and whereas Dearborn County is committed to taking steps to raise awareness about the need to combat hunger throughout our community and provide additional resources that the citizens of Lawrenceburg, and whereas the city of Lawrenceburg will involve in several community partnerships, an event on September 3rd, 2015, to bring awareness and attention to the efforts to fight hunger in local community. Now, I therefore, Dennis Carr, being duly elected mayor of the city of Lawrenceburg, do recognize September as Hunger Action Month, in Dearborn County and the city of Lawrenceburg. I hereby do accept my hand and cause for the seal of the city of Lawrenceburg this 31st day of August, 2015.
Note on that, the school is asking for people to donate at all of the football games. They have bins that they're set up for. It's primarily through Lawrenceburg High School, but also the middle school. You can also drop off at any time. These are going to help our kids in our school district. Different food items, stuff that they can take home over the weekends. It's a good thing.
I think they're going to set some out in our lobby too at utilities, so there'll be plenty of stations. Fall Fest contract. What happened, we had, Survivor had to pull out, we had to do another contract, another band. They had a band member had an operation, they won't be able to make it. And we got Lou Graham with Foreigner, which is probably a better venue.
The Voice of Foreigner.
The Voice of Foreigner, yes.
And I did review the contract. It's actually through the same agency, Paradise Artists, so it wasn't a big change between that and the Survivor contract. But I did review all of it. We did have some changes just because of the billing. Most of our signs and everything are already out, all of our flyers and stuff that have Survivor on it, so we could not guarantee the billing. However, anything in our website now, and I believe any new materials coming out about Fall Fest will have Lou Graham on there. But
It was brought up in the Fall Fest meeting. Can we back charge our out-of-pocket expenses?
no, not with Survivor. You mean?
Yes.
No. They had an out, and they, I believe, did it within the time period they were supposed to do. I think it was only 30 days.
They got clauses in
Oh,
there.
I asked for 60 every time. Every year I ask for 60, but no one listens to me. But
course,
but no,
they're all
it
set
was
standard
only 30
contracts.
days, and they were within the 30 days. So
That's the reason they're in that business and we're not, I guess. I need a motion to accept the contract.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Pat, ice rink contract.
You have in front of you, I think you should have gotten in your packets, the request for bids that we send out to the companies for the contract for the ice rink for Winter Wonderland. The request is pretty much the same as last year, except I do have a specific date when it has to be completely installed and operational. And I've added that that schedule has to be submitted and agreed upon by the city and Main Street. And the same with the rink closure and disassembly, that it has to be submitted to and agreed upon by the city and Lawrenceburg Main Street. Those are, for the most part, the changes from last year.
The November 25th thing? Is that it? The November 25th date?
Yes, that's the Wednesday before it would open. So I would would request your approval to go ahead and send this request out.
Be okay with the November 25th date, I guess, right? It says agreed upon by the city in Lawrenceburg Main Street.
Leslie, I specified that day specifically because the rink will open on the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and that is the day before Thanksgiving. So we would want it operational to ensure that it would be ready for Saturday.
So maybe you should put in here the schedule for installation must be submitted prior to, right? I mean, because our last meeting in November would be the 16th. November 16th will be our last Board of Works meeting that month, so.
That's just so the city is aware of when they're going to be here, when the contractor's going to be here. Sometimes there's been coordination issues where they come in and, the city doesn't know they're coming in and it's not open for them to get in. It's just to avoid some issues like that.
Pat, you've got 10 working days for the removal. Now, most of the last two you've had, they work on the weekends, correct?
Yes, they have.
Yeah. Can we make it calendar days?
Work days, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. 10 work days? Okay. I can
That's
put that
working
in.
days, doesn't it?
Well, it should be calendar.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right, and I think the last...
What happens is they say it's too cold, they can't work. That's what we ran into last year.
Yeah.
So if they call off because it's cold, it's not a work day. And the rink was up almost, 8 weeks
Now, if you recall, the agreement there was,
when it thawed out.
the agreement there was when they made their bid, they gave you the bid, and they said, we'll reduce this bid by $3,000 if you let us, we'll disassemble everything else but the rink itself, because if the rink can melt naturally, then it's easier. They do damage to the, when they try to force it out and it's really cold, they damage the tubing and everything. So they were willing to give a discount, I think it was $3,000 last year, if they took everything else away, but just left the rink itself to naturally
But they
thaw.
didn't take everything else away.
No, they didn't.
Right.
They didn't, which is also why in this, I believe I put that everything had to be, all that had to be removed. I believe I have that in here.
Sand and everything.
Yes, once the rink is closed, the contractor will be responsible for timely removal of the rink, skates, matting, and any other equipment that may be provided by the contractor. In other words, he's got to take everything away, unless, I don't know what kind of a bid you're going to get this time. You may get that same bid again that says, hey, we'll give you a $3,000 discount if we take everything away but just let the rink naturally melt. They may say that again. It could be a different company that has a totally different take on it. I don't know. But I did put that language. That is different, too.
Is their insurance still covering it while it's sitting there?
Yes, it has to. I mean, they sent us a copy of the insurance.
Okay.
And the city and Main
As long
Street,
as that's the
everything
case,
is
I
also
wouldn't have a
insured,
problem.
yeah.
If
It's
they're gonna, I don't know, if they're gonna somehow,
I mean,
damage their property or our property, correct?
Yeah, well, the insurance should cover it as long as anything they have is on that property.
We need to check into that, make sure.
I can ask that question.
You may check with the chiller also, who's responsible for the liability for that chiller.
The liability for the chiller.
Yeah.
It sat there quite a while, didn't it?
I would still think that they would have liability for it because they're contracting for it. I mean, it would rest with them. We don't contract for that chiller. So wouldn't that?
Again, I don't know if they're insuring the chiller.
Okay. So you want a copy of insurance from the chiller too?
Well, see what the coverage is, because you
Okay.
actually have your own people working on that chiller.
Yeah, at times Tony has to go in and they direct him how to do it. That's a good point.
And a waiver if that happens, I guess. But we can address that in the contract.
Okay,
Mhm.
yes, let's address that because I think that part about the chiller, we never really, it seems like every year we discover something new we need to be worrying about, so I guess that's a new one this year, but we'll take care of that.
All right, we'll make sure.
I will bring the final bids to you anyway for your review.
Okay.
Is it okay to proceed with this then?
Uh,
Add the word prior to?
the board have any problem with that?
I would so move with the corrections.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It's an easy $25.
Mike Clark, City Facilities, Carpet and Floor Clean.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm requesting authorization to put an advertisement out for the annual carpet and flooring cleaning contract for all the city buildings.
I would so move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It needs to be done.
All right, thank you.
Old business. I'm bringing up our fire department bid painting, the bid packet, I believe.
Not on the agenda, but it was sent out for tonight's meeting. It's the painting bids for the firehouse.
We only had one turned in. Flannery Painting Incorporated. Amount $13,200. Is there anything else you're looking specifically from here? Just
all anything that's metal, anything that's wood on all locations.
Mario, you've been aware of this?
Yes, sir.
You want to work with the fire department on this?
You just want to review it and bring back your recommendation the next meeting?
Right.
What's being painted?
All the exterior of the firehouse, anything metal, anything wood, a lot of stuff's chipped, a lot of stuff's decaying. It's kind of been neglected, so it needs to be taken care of before it gets any worse.
So you're going to look us over and bring it back?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Mike Clark, Edgewood Drive Stormwater Improvement Quote.
Yeah, okay, Suzanne, I think you've got all the bids. You want to go ahead and open them and read them?
I do. Edgewood Drive, again, we just received one. It's from Angels Excavating. You want me to read the lump sum amount?
Yeah.
$37,957.15. Looks like they have everything that was requested.
Okay, since that's the only bid that we got, it was advertised. We did hold mandatory pre-bid where we had 3 or 4 contractors. It is a difficult project. I would move to go ahead and accept it so we can go ahead and get on this project before the weather turns on us.
Anything, the board? Entertain a motion.
I'd so moved, accept it.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, Mike Clark, Pee Wee Football Storage Building.
Again, there's just one quote. It's from Seymour General Contracting. It appears off first glance, everything's here. Amount $84,444.44.
One more time, I'm sorry.
$84,444.44.
Like fours, don't you? Anything on the board?
I just want to ask Leslie, how's that work now that Paul's on council?
He did file his nepotism and conflict of interest forms. We had him sign those the first night he was sworn in, which says that there could be contracts with the city under Seymour General Contracting. He is a member, I believe that's an LLC, is that correct? Or are you a corporation? It's a corporation. I do know Regine is the president of the corporation. Mr. Seymour acts as the general contractor. So.
Mike, was there an engineer's estimate on this?
No, there was not for this project. There again, this is just like the last one too. We did advertise it in the newspaper, had mandatory pre-bid meetings, had several people looking at it. I hate it that we only had one turned in, but as all the people that attended the pre-bid are all pre-qualified and in good standing with the city. Therefore, I would recommend that we go ahead and do it. We do have a real tight timeline on this project where it basically has to be completed the Friday before the end of the season so that it'll be available to the teams to be able to put their equipment in there.
And this was the whole thing with it being ventilated and so no mold.
It is climate controlled. And yeah, it'll be a nice addition to the park facility up there.
Any more board? Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Mike Clark, 2015 Main Street marking project.
We actually received 3 on this. A&A Safety.
They're going to be
A lot of numbers.
one.
These look like unit cost forms. How?
They are, and the one determining factor, 90% of this is going to be the 4-inch yellow line that is repainted with thermoplastic. And for the most part, the rest of these units are going to be very small items, except for this one. That should be the determining factor on.
Okay, for that particular thing that you're saying, I have $2 under a new layout and $1.50 repaint. I guess that's per lineal foot.
Yes.
I think we need to read all of them, though.
Probably do need to read them all.
Okay. We have a 24-inch white stop bar, and these are all going to be priced per lineal foot. New layout, $7.15. Repaint, $6.65. We have a 6-inch white crosswalk stripe. New layout, $5.15. Repaint, $4.65. 4-inch white line, $2 new layout, $1.50 repaint. 4-inch yellow line, $2 new layout, $1.50 repaint. Straight arrow, 10 foot, $145 new layout, $140 repaint. Turn arrow, 8 foot, $155 new layout, repaint, $150. Combination arrow, 12 foot, $180 new layout, $175 repaint. That was all the thermoplastic. The next is paint, 24-inch white stop bar, $5 new layout, $4.50 repaint. 6-inch white crosswalk stripe, $3 new layout, $2.50 repaint. 4-inch white line, $1.25 new layout, 75 cents repaint. 4-inch yellow line, $1.25 new layout, 75-cent repaint. Straight arrow, 10 foot, $65 new layout, $60 repaint. Turn arrow, 8 foot, $70 new layout, $65 repaint. And a combination arrow, 12 foot, $80 new layout, $75 repaint. And again, that was from A&A Safety.
Anything board?
Oh no, I got two more.
Kind of rush you along.
I'm trying. This one is from Dave O'Mara. This has a unit cost form on it, but it also says not to exceed $30,000. (24-inch new layout) 24-inch white stop bar, new layout, $7.65. Repaint, $7. 6-inch white crosswalk, $3 new layout, $2.35 repaint. 4-inch white line, 85 cents new layout, 70 cents repaint. 4-inch yellow line, 85 cents new layout, 70 cents repaint. Straight arrow, 10 foot, 135 new layout, 118 repaint. Turn arrow, 8 foot, 135 new layout, 118 repaint. Combination arrow, 12 foot, 270 new layout, 235 repaint. Street marking paint, 24-inch white stop bar, $4.70 new layout, $3.50 repaint. 6-inch white crosswalk stripe, $1.75 new layout, $1.18 repaint. 4-inch white line, 40 cents new layout, 30 cents repaint. 4-inch yellow line, 40 cents new layout, 30 cents repaint. Straight arrow, 10 foot, $40 new layout, $30 repaint. Turn arrow, 8 foot, $40 new layout, $30 repaint. Combination arrow, 12 foot, $75 new layout, and $60 repaint. Again, that was from Dave O'Mara. And the last one is from Paul H. Rowe. Again, not to exceed $30,000. Street marking thermoplastic, 24-inch white stop bar, new layout, $720, repaint, $780. 6-inch white crosswalk stripe, $240 new layout, $3 repaint. 4-inch white line, 72 cents new layout, 84 cents repaint. 4-inch yellow line, 72 cents new layout, 84 cents repaint. Straight arrow, 10 foot, $120 new layout, $138 repaint. Turn arrow, 8 foot, $120 new layout, $138 repaint. Combination arrow, 12 foot, $240 new layout, $276 repaint. Street marking paint, 24-inch white stop bar, $3.60 new layout, $4.80 repaint. 6-inch white crosswalk stripe, $1.20 new layout, $1.80 repaint. 4-inch white line, 33 cents new layout, 40 cents repaint. 4-inch yellow line, 33 cents new layout, 40 cents repaint. Straight arrow 10 foot, $30 new layout, $42 repaint. Turn arrow 8 foot, $30 new layout, $42 repaint. Combination arrow 12 foot, $60 new layout, and $78 repaint. Again, that was from Paul Atro.
Anything to the board?
Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, did we do this for different projects given to different bids last year, or was it all one person?
Pardon me?
I mean, as far as the different, I know you said the 4-inch yellow line under thermoplastic is what you primarily need it for, but all of these other ones, if the price is lower on something, I mean, did you utilize them, or was it?
No, it goes to, you got to pick one of them.
Okay. So then, is this something you will lay out for us since we've received the bids, or, I mean, is this something?
This is something because of the time of the year, I was hoping that we could go ahead, you guys would go ahead and award it.
All right.
Because if we wait around, by the time they get notified, we issue notice of award. Usually takes about 2 weeks to get the bonding in place and get the contract executed, and then to get them scheduled and mowed in, we may be too late to get it done this year, so.
Well, we want to hold off to after all the crack sealing's done also.
What was that last company you read off?
Well, we're going to be, they're going to start that
In October.
first part of October.
Crack filling is?
Yes.
So we don't want them
We're
to,
get them all filled this time.
we don't want them to go over top the new thermal or painting or striping. I mean, will they hold this price till spring?
That we would have to ask.
I mean, I would feel a little more comfortable with the.
I mean, it's just, we have some areas aesthetically need to be redone. We do have some areas, I think even safety-wise, we need to get some lines down.
Well, again, if we got a crack running right down the center line, which a lot of cases we do, I don't want to see it go over top the thermal.
You're there. Makes sense.
I think.
When are you start on the crack filling?
1st October.
First part of October is when they're supposed to start.
They can't do this in the winter either, can they?
Nah. It's got to be a certain temperature, I think.
And these are all going to be new layouts or repaints?
Pardon me?
New layouts or
The
repaints?
majority of it is repaint. We just have a couple small areas that need to be new and added.
Because the mayor put them backwards, you know what I mean?
I would check, see if they can hold a price for spring.
Roe said there was more to repaint.
And
than just
and
layout.
we can check on that, or we can try to schedule along with, during the month of October, along with, Paul Atro Company has the crack seal contract. We can just have this contractor schedule and make sure that they're not getting in before Row Company does. And I think that's something we could probably schedule between contractors.
Probably next year. You know, that's pushing things. You gotta give that tower time to cure and everything, those cracks. And we ought to push this off spring.
And there again, if you guys choose to do that, that's what we'll do.
I mean, it's,
If they would hold a price, I'd feel.
You know, I can check and see, but I cannot guarantee that they'll hold the price until
If they won't, you just have to rebid it.
rebid if they don't.
we'll rebid it. If you want to make a recommendation to do it, if they hold the price till spring, I can present that to them. If not, I'll rebid it.
So, does it cost more money to repaint or a new layout?
It costs more to lay out. I think one better filled it out wrong, but we just have to go with what they've
So you
got.
think Roe did it backwards?
Yeah, I noticed that. Me confused.
If that's the case, then they are.
What's the board want to do?
Make a motion, we hold off till spring, see if he can get them to agree to hold that price.
A second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay, and I didn't even look. Did anyone recommend?
It looks like a merit to me.
But
A&A is the highest.
even if they switch them
Cheapest for
around, it'd
anything
still
is
be
gonna be
72
O'Mara.
cents. So, I mean, even if.
And there again, is that who you want me to contact, see if they'll hold the price, or?
Who are the low
The lowest.
in your evaluation?
Right. Looks like a merit.
They are the low. I'll see if they'll hold it. If they can't hold it, then we'll just rebid it again late winter for next spring.
Okay.
Need a motion?
Need a motion for, pick that one.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Let's have it. Okay.
I have a question real quick for Olin. I have 2 bids here left over, and they say utilities, parking improvement,
Yeah, that's, that'll be under the
utilities? Okay, just making sure.
Under old business. Leslie, Resolution 1, 2015, proposed amendments.
This is what LERU director was talking about. As we talked about last time, Ambulance Billing Services, Inc. is who we're wanting to go with. We're doing a resolution to set the rates, and then I need approval of the agreements attached, which is the ambulance fee billing services and accounts receivable management agreement and the business associate agreement between LERU and ambulance billing services. The last contract is basically just an ALS intercept agreement, which would be entered into by LERU and other EMT agencies. So this, I really just was for your information. I've reviewed it. I feel, I know the last sentence was cut off, and he did bring me a copy without the last sentence being cut off today, so I'm good with that agreement. But I need the approval of the resolution and also the 2 agreements. And go ahead and read the resolution.
Yeah, go ahead.
And we did find out this is Resolution 1, 2015 of the Board of Public Works and Safety, a resolution regarding entering into an agreement with Ambulance Billing Services, Inc. for the Lawrenceburg Emergency Rescue Unit, whereas the Lawrenceburg Emergency Rescue Unit, LERU, is in need of billing services for their charges, including processing Medicare and Medicaid claims, whereas the LERU wishes to utilize the service of Ambulance Billing Services, Inc. for such purposes. Now therefore it be resolved by the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Lawrenceburg, Dearborn County, Indiana, 1, to enter into the agreement presented herewith with Ambulance Billing Services, Inc. for the purpose of billing for LERU's runs. 2, to utilize the following rates for billing according to the following categories. Basic life support, BLS, emergency base rate, $600. Advanced life support, ALS 1 and level 1 emergency base rates, $900. Advanced life support, ALS 2, level 2 emergency base rate, $1,100. Ambulance mileage, $12 a mile. And paramedic intercept is $150. 3, to allow payment to Ambulance Billing Services, Inc. for LERU services by credit debit card if a patient opts to use one, with a merchant discount fee of 2.9% per transaction. Passed by the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Lawrenceburg, Dearborn County, Indiana, this 8th day of September 2015.
Heard the resolution, entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
You guys could just go ahead and sign that for me.
Okay. Get the master release for the antique market.
I'm not done
Get that
yet. As far as the management agreement, like I said, I did review all of it. I think Bobby's also reviewed all of it. The main thing is it is 6.5%
as far as that's their percentage for compensation on it. We do have to put a effective date, but I did also have you all signing this contract as well as the mayor. The proposal is attached as Exhibit A, and then the billing process. Does anybody have any questions about those? We just, and then the business associate agreement has to do with compliance with the HIPAA law. Is basically you can't, neither one of you will be disclosing any HIPAA sensitive information. That's what it's about. So. I would ask for a motion to approve the management agreement and also the business associate agreement.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Again, if you guys could sign this. Don't need to sign it yet. I think I need a copy. If you want to keep it.
Okay. Want me to sign it or have, wait, no,
Sorry. Yes.
Me?
Yes, that's fine. And then thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll make sure I get everything to Mr. Freeman, Bobby.
Pardon me?
I'll make sure I get everything to Mr. Freeman.
Okay.
That's all I had on that topic.
Okay, we'll go to Mesker's lease for Antique Market.
This was pursuant to the bid. I have a lease agreement I put in your packets. Didn't know if there were any changes or any questions. I did speak with Mr. Clausen concerning the utility usage, and they were going to establish a rate for them, which is also payable in advance of the weekend. It would just be based on an average of the use over there during the antique show. Is that correct?
Correct.
And Mr. Metzger was all good with that. So.
Go ahead, Preston.
Oh, thanks.
I just want to make sure in the copy of this lease that was sent to me a few weeks ago, there appears to be some conflicting language in section number 2, the term of the lease.
I did send that back to you. I don't know, every copy that I had Agner Hall and the 4-H buildings consisting of particularly the cow barn and the show ring are included in this lease.
Okay, so that's what the copy you have. Mm-hmm. Okay. For some reason, I didn't get the correct
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I did go back and change it. I thought I sent it to you. Sorry about that.
Okay, very good. That was my.
Just wanted to make sure that you were able to use those as in previous years.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have any comments on the lease?
Let's do a motion to
Motion accept the lease?
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
and just you want to have Jackie or
whatever you
advise. Just give it to Jackie, then she can send it out to Mr. We'll have Jackie sign, attest the signature, and we'll get a copy sent out to you and get that signed and sent back to us. Okay, thank you.
Okay, review and discuss claims board approval.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjourned.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Utilities, 5 minutes. Go ahead. Set it back down. Bruce got brown on it.
What is this? What's this?
Please, sir.
That was long.
I'm here one day, I'm trying to get like my
Welcome back.
Now I'm thinking back out. They were actually, fisters. That's
kind of just for review.
It's my cut. That was my cousin's round. I'm gonna give it to her when I see her.
That's crazy.
He's James.
What's that?
She's out there. She's around. She's a year older than me.
Where's it at?
So she's a year older than me too.
Butler, the area. We're actually working on that right now.
Oh.
Yeah. No, we've got an engineer that we brought in to go through that whole system.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I did get your message. It was kind of like a passive.
I've spoken to you about.
What was the
Right.
DNA safety? What number?
Okay.
What's your name and number? And I'll call you with an update. You sure?
I'm not going to write down the unit prices.
When was,
All right.
which one passed? Was that yours?
Okay.
A and A.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Maybe Mom again.
I mean, I think
It was
this
passed, I
all
think, right?
not to
Yeah.
exceed
I think
30,000,
so.
right?
I think. But
Sorry about
see,
that.
theirs is different. Like, I wasn't going to read all this.
For the reimbursement. Okay, I was here for that.
Yeah. That's a good thing with this LERU thing too, because they're gonna be able to help collect money
Shoot,
that we
Rob.
can't ever get through Medicaid.
You wanna
and
take
Medicare,
that?
And then also, the
Okay.
intercept when we
It comes back to us, though. Like, we keep the original, so.
Pass it down.
too, and they're just a basic unit.
I think they approved it.
We were just
Well, let's see. This is.
well, we can bill them. If we bill them
Find it.
$50,
I think this is
they
the.
can turn around and bill the ALS.
This is the
to
metric
Medicare,
for
Medicaid. So
Board of Works,
we'll still
correct?
get, because we weren't getting paid. So now we're getting 150, and they'll be able to.
So this
Oh,
one-
that's
this one you
different.
don't
That's
sign
the
the
flamery
passes
thing.
down.
Okay. You did it during,
That one's for utilities? Oh, well, wait a
Many
minute, that one-
reports.
Yeah, you will sign that one down.
This one, yeah, this one is.
That one's utilities.
yeah, and monies and
It's
budget
utilities.
and our
I
diagnostic.
told you wrong, it's utilities.
Approved.
That's right.
Okay. Yep.
I blacked out.
But we still, we get that back, the original, yes. Yeah, if you're not gonna,
This is what our total
We keep the
monthly
originals in the
expenses were,
office.
including purchase pallet.
Oh, okay.
oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate.
But they owe us about that same amount, actually.
That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call my fault again.
Can I get your signature? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You could have done that being a soccer game.
Is this yours?
Yeah.
Can I have it? If we cancel? Okay, because I'm just going to mark cancel on it so Jackie knows.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I think they're going to take a roll call at council. See who's going to be there.
I don't need it.
I had a big.
Good. Thank you.
No problem. Who's this? Donnie leaving his paperwork?
Probably. I hope it's not mine.
I wonder if he left. He went outside.
Probably. Yeah, I got mine.
This one's mine.
They're going to enforce it.
Hey, I got a good text message. My son's back on U.S. soil.
Oh, hey, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing wrong with that. Was you expecting that?
Well, I knew somewhere around now, because they keep changing dates. He should get to come home somewhere between the 18th and the 25th, I think. For good.
Huh?
I haven't come up with her. I said, well, I'm going to go home. Yeah, she said, leave her.
You just don't know. Society's
Is that a fee that we have to pay the sewer plant?
Yeah, it's a $200 deposit, and you guys have paid $100. Give or take a couple of days. Turn around just on check writing.
You want to sit down with your set of plans?
Yes.
Just long as,
It's just
long as you
damage
clean.
deposit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a damage.
Do you want to sit down so we can clean it with, okay, I'll make sure we're trying to check.
Well, probably getting rid of everybody probably won't be a problem. It'll probably be a problem having enough people to clean.
Yeah.
Class of 2000, huh?
So what are we going to do?
We're having our reunion Saturday too, and I guarantee you it ain't the same year as his. What did he say?
Different vintage.
80.
They had my
That's not that
20-year
far.
reunion at Hollywood. Well, I bought tickets to go to it.
Well, I'll tell you what I started doing.
Oh, I had the wrong weekend. So I'm on Facebook on a Sunday morning, and I'm like, oh, I missed my reunion. I didn't pay for the tickets and everything. It was even right here. They didn't ever go to Cincinnati. I missed it. I just wanted to go because I haven't seen anybody since I graduated.
That's
I went to school.
Fine, come on.
Let's kick this pig.
Got this whole pile here.
No, I was just thinking,
Big changes. Big changes.
well,
We're going to fly through the rest of this, right?
you know why I'm saying.
No, it'd be big changes for this guy.
That's what I mean. Big time.
You can take him now if you want.
That's what I said.
You can take him now if you want.
Which one?
You're taking these
Oh,
two?
really? Is that
Okay.
next one?
And then you'll bring them all back.
Right.
You have to sign the lease agreement. Did I take
I was just thinking, get more people at the rates. I guess from both sides.
You can get a combination of both, because you can use the round ones for parties. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. And that's what I was thinking. You got a point there. They had
Yes.
somebody.
Because you said wait for her to sign it.
Oh, yeah, have Jackie sign it. I'm sorry. You're right.
But you had me sign the other one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
The resolution.
Yeah.
Guys ready?
I am.
You ready, Suzanne?
I am, yes.
Call the utility board meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Member Jane Pope. Present. Member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Member Bill Brunner. Member Mike Lawrence.
Here.
Member Paul Seymour.
Here.
Attorney Leslie Votaw.
Here.
Utility Director Olin Clausen.
Present.
President Mayor Dennis Carr.
Here.
And myself.
Any announcements?
Just in your packets, we did put in, for September 21st, there will be a public hearing on the net metering utility rates. So we appreciate if you guys can make it at 5:30 on September 21st, which is our next regular utility board meeting.
Okay. Everybody make it?
At 5:30.
And just to give a little background on that, we don't currently have any net metered customers on our system. And with the changes in net metering, the costs associated with net metering, now is the ideal time to bring our net metering policy and tariff up to a more appropriate standard. It's not so much about loss of revenue or a revenue issue. It's about preventing problems that other utilities are starting to have with net metered customers. So.
And as far as the ordinance goes, I meant to actually get it to Connie for the packets, but what I'll do is email all of that to you all beforehand, and then I'm sure she'll also have it in the packets for the 21st, but so you can review it early on.
Okay. Any more announcements? Approve the minutes previous meeting.
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Committee reports.
Thank you, Your Honor. As a utility, we've been mulling over some things to address some of the customers that we have in the utility that find themselves from time to time having difficulties in paying a utility bill. And so what I'm considering doing, and it would need some help from the utility board members to develop this, is to come up with a program. I'd like to call it something like Roundup, LMU, something along these lines. And what it would be is the customers that are on our system who wish to could opt into a program where we would round up to the nearest dollar on the utility bill. And if it were 90 cents or 80 cents or whatever, that money would be set aside into a fund that, based on a separate action by the board to review people who maybe have got a little bit of a hardship, trouble paying their utility bills, that we can review those cases by case and provide assistance and relief to those customers for the utilities. Some of the guidelines would be that it couldn't be someone who's an habitual abuser, habitually late. It'd have to be somebody who's in good standing with the utility that just happened to have one of these things that many of us have in our lives that just come on some hard times. Nonetheless, it would be up to the utility board members to help me craft some of those guidelines. I've already talked with our billing software company, something that they can do. It's very simple, actually. People could contribute additional amounts to that fund if they'd like to, but anybody who wished to could simply choose to round their utility bill up to the nearest dollar, set those funds aside, and I think over time it would provide tangible relief to a few people in our system. So I'd like to maybe get with you all's schedule where we could meet one-on-one next couple of weeks, talk about some of the things you'd like to see in a guideline like that. Maybe you might have some questions for me. I've got some specific thoughts on how we can go about this. We might even schedule a work session where we can talk about some of these things as a group and try to nail that down. And that's it for reports, Your Honor.
Okay. Go to new business. Olin, approved funds for customers.
In your packets, you will notice that I've presented you with 3 customers that I'd like to engage to discuss refunds to them. I won't get into the individual amounts here since it is a negotiation. But the amount that you need to pay attention to is the $24,003.75. You can see it's broke out by the 3 specific customers above. Seeking approval from the board to be able to negotiate those 3 amounts with those 3 individuals to a resolution.
I don't have an issue with it. You can negotiate it, get it done. Works for me.
I got a question. Why would you negotiate? Why wouldn't you just outright pay them what we owe them?
Well, that's a great question. The amounts, the negotiation portion of it would be if they didn't agree to these totals that you see and they sought something different than that. I don't want to have authority to exceed that amount. The amounts that we have here are in fact the totals for what we have overcharged them. So that is the total amount that we have overcharged those customers. I have not held any of it back. But I didn't want to get into a position with them where they assumed there was additional resources there, additional repayments there, and to have that discussion with them. But so what I'm seeking for in authorization is a 100% refund of the overcharged amounts, less any of our avoided costs that they otherwise would have had to have paid regardless.
Okay, thank you for your explanation.
Sure.
I make a move to allow Olin Clausen to proceed with negotiations on the 3 bills.
Your second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just quickly, want to give an update to the board on some of our operational things. To date, out of what we estimate to be somewhere over $500,000 that had previously been uncollected from the utility, we have signed agreements to recapture $279,403.08. That's a one-time true-up, or a one-occasion true-up. What it means to the utilities ongoing is that we have, in the course of a year, by billing accounts that were improperly billed or not billed at all, we have added $81,884.20 annually to our revenues. We have also reduced a couple of processes. I want to be very clear. We didn't cut any wages or any benefits, and we certainly, most importantly, didn't cut any services to the customers. But we've also reduced our operating expenses in the electrical utility by an additional $114,184. So we expect by the end of this year to be $196,068.20 better off than we were. So we haven't reduced any services at all. We've simply done some things that are better management of our time, of the men's time. Some of the things that we were farming out, we are now doing ourselves. And these aren't speculated numbers. Well, they're speculated to the extent that we know what this service cost us over the last 4 years, and we're now doing that ourselves, so we expect that as a real savings. With that, I'll stand for any questions.
I appreciate you taking the time to bring our costs down. Eventually, hopefully, it'll help save our utility customers.
You're welcome.
Good work, Olin.
Thanks.
Yeah. And I'd also like to make sure everybody recognizes that he's went through every bill and caught 3 customers that was overcharged, and that's being corrected also. So it's not that he was only looking for people undercharged.
No, and I appreciate bringing that up. We have tariffs that identify what customer class each customer in the city should be in. And there should be an annual review of those customers to ensure that they're in the appropriate classes. And when they're not, for a period of 12 calendar months, 1 year, the utility has a responsibility to move those individuals to a more appropriate tariff. That's why we have the individual tariffs. That's why we have very specific criteria in those tariffs that are meant to identify those customers so that they're properly being billed. There's advantages to customers who are in the higher tariffs. The cost of power is less. They have a higher monthly customer charge. They have a demand charge that is really meant to encourage them to have a higher power factor, load factor. But if customers are paying attention to that and they are a true demand customer, the cost of power overall is less. And so to move a demand customer down to the next tariff would actually raise their costs. So it's very important that as a matter of procedure, every year we go through and we review all of our three-phase customers and large power customers to ensure that we are doing right by those customers. And we still have a ways to go. We're just through the big 13 customers, which are large power for contract customers. We now have about 690 additional three-phase customers that we're in the process of reviewing. So at the end of all this process, I expect to come forward with customers that may need to move up in class, or customers who, I guess the point is we're looking at every single customer, what they're being charged. My interest wasn't just in what we were owed, it is also in what we owe our customers. I've said it before, I don't think the utility should be charging or making anything more than what it's due. And anyway.
Thank you all. Okay, we go to old business, electric department, driveway modification project.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mike Clark and I have been working on this for some time. This is the parking lot up at the electric building on Tate and Front Street. Right now, there's not adequate parking there for the employees who work there to park. I mean, they're double parked, or I mean, there's no room for the employees to even park in that parking lot. So I approached Mr. Clark to assist me with coming up with a plan to address that, make better use of that facility. He came in last week and asked me to be sure and get this on the agenda. I forgot, and so I appreciate you letting me add that to the agenda this evening.
Any more?
I'm going to go ahead and open these.
Okay.
These are the two he's talking about. You received two. The first one's from Dave O'Mara. Here's like everything is included. Lump sum amount, $153,950 even. Again, that's from Dave O'Mara, $153,950. The second one is from T&T Maintenance. This one has a unit price.
Should also be a lump.
I see it. It's on the third page. Lump sum amount is $138,890. Again, that's from T&T Maintenance, $138,890.
Can we just ask, Lauren, whose name is this in? Is it in Lawrence? It is in LMU's.
It is.
I want to make sure we weren't supposed to be doing this from Board of Works instead, that's all.
Anything on the board?
I move that we go with the low bid if it meets specifications.
Here a second?
for Olin and Mike Clark.
Here a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Review and discuss claims and board approval.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion adjourned.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Member Jane Pope.
Present.
Member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Member Bill Bruner.
Here.
Member Mike Lawrence.
Here.
Member Paul Seymour.
Here.
Lieutenant Brian Miller.
Present.
Deputy Fire Chief Rob Schutte. EMS Director Bobby Mills.
Here.
City Attorney Leslie Votaw.
Here.
Utility Director Olin Clausen.
Present.
Mayor Dennis Carr.
Here.
And myself.
Any announcements? I have one. We received a award from CASA, Community Champions Award for 2015, Dearborn County Citizens Against Substance Abuse. Proudly recognize the City of Lawrenceburg, Mayor Dennis Carr, Councilman James Pope, Councilman Bill Bruner, Councilman J.R. Holcraft, Councilman Mike Lawrence, Councilman Aaron Cook, for the continued support helping us address and educate the community about substance abuse, the innovative ways of programming. Any more announcements? Approve the minutes of previous meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Actually, Your Honor, I do have one announcement. The special meeting that was called for this Thursday at 3 o'clock, there's been 3 members that have told me that they cannot make it. We won't have a quorum. It's up to the board. There's no reason to call the meeting if we're not going to have a quorum.
Okay.
Mr. Hedden is going to be here, though.
Right.
Whether or not we want to cancel him or if...
No, he's coming down for another thing.
Yes.
Jane, you had the question. Why don't we just have you meet with Dan and explain what's going on?
I'll have to discuss that further with Leslie. I gave her a reason why I might not be able to make that.
Oh, you can't make it either?
Well, I thought it was for Wednesday. I didn't know it was for Thursday.
We're just having Dan on another issue down there.
But he will be here at 3. Do you know how long he will be available?
We're going to have him
I think he was
couple
only
hours.
available until 5, right? Because he had to be back in Indianapolis. I'm pretty sure that's why they set it for 3 o'clock.
I should...
He has to leave by 4.
Has to leave by 4.
Jane, would you like to maybe talk on the phone with Tyler? We can always set that up in our office.
Okay, I'll consider both. You said he will be here at 9 a.m.?
Right.
And he will be here till 4.
But we're going to be in meetings with him about other things. We can set something up. You can be here earlier, it'll be fine.
Oh, thank you, sorry.
How long's your meeting's going to run?
It's probably 4 hours.
Thank you.
We got long discussions with him on things.
Well, I got an appointment at 1:30, so I'll try to make it here by 3:30, and if not, we'll set up something by the phone.
Okay.
You want to we'll make sure that the meeting on the board is canceled.
Yeah, we'll cancel the board meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
And that is Thursday, September the 10th.
Correct.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Committee meetings. Street alleys and curbs, Aaron Cook.
Yeah, there's 2 things. They're both on Hardwood Drive. First one is there's a fire hydrant up there. There's no painted yellow line in front of it, so people are parking in front of it. I can find out the exact address and let you guys know tomorrow if you like. And then the second one's also on Hardwood Drive. I guess they put a water line through there recently, and when they put the water line in, the rocks from the construction are all in one of the residents' flower beds and landscaping, and no one's ever came and cleaned that up.
That's the leak that was repaired up there. No patches, I guess, not yet, huh?
No. We're probably still
Because there's
3 weeks out on that, unless we're going to put coal mix in it for temporary,
right,
which we'll probably end up.
because there's more than a few patches.
If we can take care of that fire hydrant probably this week.
Okay. And I can get you the exact address on that, and then.
I don't know where it's at.
Okay, and then the other rocks and stuff. When will that be taken care of? Probably.
We'll put some temporary patch on it.
Okay, I guess the rocks are up in their flower bed or landscaping from where they put the line in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a transformer, and all the utilities are in there. They grow plants and things to try to hide them. But,
We'll go ahead and get the rocks cleared out, but as far as the road patching, we're going to put a temporary, but we'll be probably 2 or 3 weeks before we get the permanent done.
Okay. That's all I
Mayor,
have.
may I add something? Streets, alleys, and curbs.
Oh, go ahead.
Getting complaints on people continually rolling through stop signs. George Street, Arch Street, St. Clair Street, Elm Street. If we could maybe just set some examples, pulling somebody over, ticket them. I was sitting on my front porch and I actually seen a guy run 3 stop signs coming down Arch Street. It was like the old days, like they were dragging racing down the street. I couldn't believe it.
Well, run some patrols over there.
Yes, we can add some extra patrols in that area. Just as a side note, though, it is common for us to receive those complaints and the public to see those complaints. And when a cruiser shows up in the area, they suddenly stop. We'll do our best to
Well,
add extra patrol in there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you think those signs that say rolling stop, or, full stop, free, I don't know, do you think any of those signs are Aurora, or?
I think if we're able to make some stops at issues, meter warnings.
I mean, by Mario's house, there's one, right?
Send a better message.
Yeah, they go by it a little bit slower, but they don't stop.
I didn't know if those were effective or not. I pay attention when I see one of those, just because you see how much the ticket is if you don't stop, right?
They're effective when a policeman's around, when they're not around or not.
Yeah, there's been numerous studies. If they don't pay attention to the stop sign, they're not going to pay attention to
that. Okay.
And Mayor, hate to interrupt again, but should we go ahead and approve the Common Council work session minutes for August 24th?
There were extra minutes in there.
Let me get through this and I'll go back to that, Jane.
All right, thank you.
Fire Department, Bill Brunner.
No report, Mayor.
Police Department. Fire Chief.
Stated Board of Works.
EMS Director.
Further report, Mayor.
Building Department. Okay. Let's go back to approve the minutes for special meeting August 24th. Has everybody seen their packet?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Have it. Okay, we've got a new business, Angie Johnson, DCH Heart and Lung Walk. I know it's been a long meeting.
That's okay. Like you said, my name is Angie Johnson, and I am the coordinator of the Heart and Lung Health Walk. And this is our 6th year for this walk, and it's a large community event. We are holding this in conjunction with Lawrenceburg Fall Fest. The city of Lawrenceburg has always supported us, the Conservancy District, and we also gained the help of the Ivy Tech Community College. This is a nonprofit event. We hope to promote education in the community, as heart and lung disease are 2 of our leading health issues. We also try to raise awareness of exercise and healthy lifestyles. All proceeds of this benefit will go to benefit the cardiac and pulmonary patients at Dearborn County Hospital. Last year, we had 414 participants with approximately 30 volunteers. This year will be even larger. We're anticipating at this rate that we're at right now will be well over 500. So we are asking for 4 things. Basically, it's the same thing we've always gotten from the city in the past. We are asking for the city of Lawrenceburg to let us use the city parking garage during the hours of our health walk, which roughly would be from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. During those hours, we ask that you waive the parking fees for our participants and volunteers, and that can be shown as proof of them showing their health walk t-shirt, their goodie bag, their health walk ribbon, their pink card, something like that. We also would like to request the assistance of the EMS. They've helped us in the past. Because this is a community event, we have many people of different ages, fitness levels. Some of these measures are very necessary to make sure that our walk is very safe. We did have an incident last year. We had a patient who had fallen on the trail, and the EMS was very helpful for us. And the last thing that we would request from the city is that we maybe could get some assistance from the maintenance department, as they've helped us in the past, put out some chairs along the walking trail for some of our volunteers. We do have healthcare workers every quarter mile during this walk that are passing out drinks and helping people. So if you could just put out a couple chairs for us that morning when the walk's over, you'd come back and pick them up. That's all we ask. And that's my request.
Anything on the board? Actually, this probably should have been Board of Works, but I'll let it go through here. Just, it got put on the wrong one, but that's okay. Anything on the board? Entertain a motion to proceed on this.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Mario, in the past, take care of the young lady.
As far as the
Great deal, really is.
waiving the parking fees, and, I mean, we also had, who was it, Tri-Kappa too? Is that something, we just need to get that information to Tri-State?
Correct.
Okay. Who takes care of that normally, or?
Connie will probably give them a call down there to give them the information.
Yes, in the past, I've contacted the lady who is in charge or manages the garage, and we've come to terms where she'll just basically has either left the arm of that garage open, or we show the
That's probably what she'll do.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good luck.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bonnie Wiseman, donations for novelty bingo.
We are having a novelty bingo for our local veterans. It's to help them with their medicine that they can't afford. And we're asking everybody in the community to help us with anything that they can help us with. I was in the VFW in April, and this older gentleman come in from World War I. He showed me his Social Security check, $123. This is ridiculous.
Anything on the board? Donations are pretty much empty, aren't they? I mean,
Council doesn't have anything.
it's pretty much gone.
Can we pass her that card that that lady left?
There you
Actually,
go.
right by her.
There you go.
What, Aaron?
She said right by her.
She's sitting right next to her.
Yeah, this lady here may be able to help.
And Bonita?
Okay.
I have a card right here.
You have an extra?
Our bingo is Sunday.
Thank you.
Bonita? I'll give you a donation. I'll get with you.
UCB breast cancer donation. I think Jackie was going to present that. It's same deal. We don't have any money. They get all the donation money out.
Part of the reason why we ain't got any money is because we're giving everything away for nothing.
You're exactly right.
I mean, I'd like for, I got a question for you. If we, as a group, were to ask you to pay that Agner Hall fee, and I'm not saying this is something we have to do right now, would that keep you from having the event there if it was under the understanding that we wanted to gather a pot so that we could start giving money back to the community? We're waiving the parking garage for the last year. We haven't recouped any of that money. And here, it's got to be hard for you guys to turn down the Special Olympics and everybody involved. I've heard you turn down people now since probably March, but I've heard you waive fees for everybody. And I would like for us to consider to stop waiving these fees, because to be honest with you, they're very, very reasonable fees anyhow. So it's just a thought.
Well, I've been saying this in the past, we are losing money right in hand over Agner Hall. We gotta pay a janitor to go and clean it up, we're paying Demand Electric like everybody else does. And that's a tax back on to the people. And I don't think we're really allowed to do that. So we're gonna look into that too, but we're gonna have to put a stop to this. It's gonna have to start paying some of the bills. I mean, the money's not coming in like it used to. I mean, the boat is down quite a bit, and we're gonna have to change the way we look at things. And so I'm gonna look into this more intense about what's going on, but I agree with you, Paul.
Well, that's a good idea, because if we can start bringing in some money to set aside for different special, I don't know, the veterans who I think are very, very special, it would be helpful.
Well, you're not going to raise a whole lot of money here. That's not my point. I guess.
Well, I mean, just anything, a little bit.
It's just, I hate, if there's a good cause that comes before us. Seems like to me we were sure out of money awful quick this year.
Well, what we used to do, we set up the Dearborn County Foundation to send people to that. But it got to where they had to be 5103C. A lot of these people aren't. So
maybe also the board should think about passing an ordinance of a maximum dollar amount that can be given.
You there? That's not a bad idea. We do that in the Suns, American Legion.
For the next administration, as far as donations, for sure. But we were actually, Paul, Aaron and I, and Jane kind of walked into the conversation. We were talking about the fees and things like that. But, yeah, you don't want to say no, but...
I mean, if we took the fees and gave it right back to the community in a different way, it's not like we're trying something here, but we're using that asset to give it back. Which I know it's giving it to you guys, but I just, it's got to be something better we can do, something better we can think about here.
We'll look into it. Okay, Aaron Cook, city calendar.
Yeah, Mayor, for the past 2 or 3 years, I've taken care of the city calendar myself, but I was trying to think of better ways to do it, and I was wondering if the board would be interested in asking the marketing director if she would like to handle it this year. I think she might be able to do a better job than me, because she could do it, spend more time on it than I can.
I'm sure she would. I'll pass it on to her.
And if she can't, let me know. I'll still do it, but I figured she could probably do a better
Maybe
job
work
than me.
with her a little bit on it. Maybe work a little bit with her on it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Should we go ahead and go out for quotes for the calendar now?
You probably have to come up with an ad or
Better
something.
come up with what are you going to do with it first.
We can make Shelley,
We can get with her, and she can move pretty fast.
Okay, like I said, if she can't or don't want to, just let me know. But
Oh, she will.
Yeah.
I'll get with her. Okay, Aaron, status on Dollar General?
yeah, I get asked probably 8 to 10 times a day about this, what's happened to the dollar store. So I was trying to find out some more information so I can pass it on.
Okay.
Well,
There
there's a
again,
plaque.
Aaron, I know I seen that on the agenda. I gave you my
Yeah.
last email on that. I think the email was dated August 14th. It was in Dollar General Corporate's hands. At that time, they had 30 days to go through their review and process. I think he mentions that it's normally quicker, but we're still not to the end of the 30 days. When they get that, basically he's telling me as soon as they get the final approval that he will contact Leslie and try to get a closing set up on the property, which we're hoping that will be, by the end of the month. And I know as soon as they get closed on it, they're in position to go ahead, and they've already gone through their reviews. They just have to obtain the permits, which will come very quickly. They want to break ground and get it dried in before the snow hits.
They wouldn't be open for first year, didn't they?
It'll be probably February, I think, was what they were kind of shooting for.
Want to change it?
To be open.
Yeah, they open up multiples at
But you should, you should see dirt flying during the month of October.
I called Kurt Rafferty today, asked him for an update. He even went as far as they for closing. They're still working on it. The biggest thing is Dollar General has 30 days.
That's this week right now. At the end of this week.
Once that happens,
They have title work done?
they've got title, they've got that one piece of property. I gathered from him a connection
Who's their title company, do you know?
And we'll hold Mike to what he said, dirt's gonna be flying end of the month.
If it's not, I want to give him his number.
There you go.
Yeah, let me have a few of your business cards.
That'll work.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Leslie, amendment to ordinance 92.
This is an amendment to Title 9, to amend Chapter 92 of the Lawrenceburg Code of Ordinances to address pet waste. There's not anything really that addresses pet waste presently in our ordinance book. There was some things about nuisance and trash, but this is addressed specifically to the animal section, which makes sense to put it there. I took out the decaying animal matter and put in pet waste because I think that is more to the point. We added A to 9210, A, B, C, and D. B is the exemptions as far as the disability assistance animal. And then the violation sections as our normal penalty section 10.99. Now, we did have in here that this should be enforced by the Lawrenceburg Police Department. That's not necessarily, I mean, that was the entity that we picked, but that's really up to you all as far as if you want the officers out there doing tickets, or, I mean, I'm not really sure whether other entity could do that, so.
On the 1099, if I'm remembering right, is that up to $100 the first time?
Mm-hmm, up to 100, and then I think the second time it goes up to
1,000, I think.
1,000.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Within a 12-month period.
Yeah, up to, though. It would be in discretion of the officers.
Well, I guess if the officers are the only one that legally can.
I don't really know. I mean, actually, Mr. Todd was the one who brought it to my attention. I guess, as a citizen, correct?
Correct.
It's also been brought to my attention that they're using George Street Park to walk their dogs in, and their dogs are doing their thing, and it's not healthy for the children. Can we put up a no pet sign allowed at that park?
Well, I think as long as we have designated waste receptacles in all of our parks for proper disposal, which is defined here, that should curb it, I would think.
Well, we were waiting.
I mean, I've even seen places where actually provide the bags.
Right.
You know, you have like a bag. I mean, that might be something
And we plan on
think
putting
about.
those back in the parks, but again, we had no verbiage to put on there.
Right.
Will there be some at George Street Park?
Correct.
Is there any more discussion or
Mayor.
any more questions? I'm sorry.
Olin's got some.
Is George Street Park up near where I used to live?
Yeah, right down the street from you.
Behind it.
Yeah, my kids happened upon that.
Predicament.
I know on Halloween it's really bad because all the kids are walking between the sidewalk and the road, and that strip walking down for trick or treating down here in downtown, and it's really bad too.
So I definitely think it's needed and for effective disposal of pet solid waste. I do think most of the time Jackie does get these published, but we'll make sure this is also published so people know. So.
Marty, you have something?
Well, I was going to say, I think it should be police enforced.
Yeah, they're the ones going to issue fines.
I don't think we'd have any difference enforcing that than any other ordinances, so I don't see how that would be an issue.
You can also write tickets.
Correct.
If everyone's good with it, I'll go ahead and read it.
Wait, Jane, you have something?
Go.
If you see somebody, what can you do as a citizen? Report or make a call or?
Videotape them.
Citizen arrest.
Probably the easiest thing would be to call the police department, direct line to the PD. If they can identify the owner or identify the residence of the owner and describe the dog, helpful information that we'd be able to enforce upon.
Thank you.
And it's keepers too. We put on not only the owners but keepers because you have people that walk dogs or whatever too. So, or keep a kennel or whatever it is. All right, amendment to ordinance title 9 to amend chapter 92 of the Lawrenceburg Code of Ordinances. Whereas the Common Council of the City of Lawrenceburg has authority pursuant to its statutory and home rule powers to amend this ordinance. And whereas the Common Council now determines that amendments to the ordinance on decaying animal matters should be enacted to address pet solid waste in particular. Whereas the Common Council feels the amendments are necessary in order to effectively provide requirements for proper disposal of pet solid waste in the City of Lawrenceburg so as to protect public health, safety, and welfare and prescribe penalties for failure to comply. Now therefore be it ordained by the Common Council of the City of Lawrenceburg that amendment be made to the Lawrenceburg Code of Ordinance Title 9 General Regulations to Chapter 92 entitled Animals to read as follows. Section 9201 Definitions. For the purpose of this chapter, the following definitions shall apply unless the context clearly indicates it requires a different meaning. The word shall is always mandatory and not merely directory. Immediate shall mean that the pet solid waste is removed at once without delay. Pet solid waste is waste matter expelled from the bowels of the pet, excrement. Proper disposal, placement in a designated waste receptacle or other suitable container and discarded in a refuse container which is regularly emptied by the municipality or some other refuse collector, or disposal into a system designed to convey domestic sewage for proper treatment and disposal. Section 9210 would be amended to say pet waste. Subsection A is the requirement for disposal. All pet owners and keepers are required to immediately and properly dispose of their pet solid waste deposited on any property, public or private, not owned or possessed by that person. B. Exemptions. Any owner or keeper who requires the use of a disability assistance animal shall be exempt from the provisions of this section while such animal is being used for that purpose. Section C. Enforcement. The provisions of this ordinance shall be enforced by the Lawrenceburg Police Department. Subsection D. Violations and penalty. Any persons who is found to be in violation of the provision of this ordinance shall be subject to a fine as prescribed in Section 1099. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its adoption and any publication as may be required by law. Ordained and passed this 8th day of September 2015 at 8:35 p.m. in accordance with the applicable law of the council by the Council of the City of Lawrenceburg, Dearborn County, Indiana. No, an ordinance. So. This actually We normally do address a number to it, but we can do that in Jackie's book. We try to keep the amendments as an ordinance number so they don't get lost in the shuffle. But I don't have that ordinance number. You can just say the amendment to.
Ordinance 92.
Yes.
Okay. Most approved first reading ordinance 92, 2015.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to suspend the rules and read ordinance number 92 by title only for second time.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Amendments to Ordinance Title 9 to amend Chapter 92 of the Lawrenceburg Code of Ordinances.
Most approved ordinance number 92 for the second reading by title only.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to suspend the rules for ordinance number 92 by title only for third and final reading.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Amendment to Ordinance Title 9 to amend Chapter 92 of the Lawrenceburg Code of Ordinances.
Motion to approve ordinance number 92 amendment for the third and final reading.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. If you could, Mayor.
Okay, Jenny Felix, employee statement.
Good evening. It was brought to my attention that one of our utility employees, Crystal Quicksall, had a concern. After she and I discussed this, we decided that the best resolution would be for her to present this to the council, and she has prepared a statement. So I'm going to turn this over to Crystal.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to state that I'm here on my own behalf. Wasn't asked by anyone at the city or the utility to make this statement. I'd like to address the recent billing issues that are going on within the utility and basically some comments that I'm hearing being said about me personally and my involvement with these issues and basically supposedly bringing all these issues to the light to the public. I'd like to make it clear to the council and the public that I didn't have any direct involvement with either of those circumstances. I was asked to help recalculate some of those billing issues that were brought to light by another individual and also by the recommendation of the State Board of Accounts. And that was my only involvement with those issues. And I hope that this message is received by the person who is spreading the false accusations about me as a person and also received by the customers so they know that as an employee, I take pride in my job with the utility, and it's a job that is not in the billing department and hasn't been in the billing department for years. I do feel it's unfortunate that these customers are having to deal with the issues that have come about. You know, I would like to say to them that we're doing everything in our power to kind of correct the wrongdoings that have gone on in the utility. I would also like to bring to light, you know, that we did hear that not only are we trying to collect, but we're also refunding a substantial amount, so it's kind of going both ways. Again, I think it's unfortunate the things that have taken place, and I would just like the message to that person to please stop the false accusations, and that's all I have to say. So thank you.
Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you for doing a good job, Crystal.
Okay, old business? Having none. Comments from the audience? You want to speak? Oh, come on, somebody wants to speak.
Oh.
Dennis?
Mayor, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Okay. Review and discuss claims board approval.
I have one question. Sorry. On 8959, Eubank and Kramer, I'm just curious why that's been paid from the revolving loan.
I would have to have the claim. I'd have to see who wrote it up, and
Because I would think that would be
if you ever
paid
have
out
any
of legal.
questions in the future, maybe because I know Jane will call us before the meeting, And that way we can get prepared and know.
That was the only one I had a question about too.
And then I later found it Suzanne and didn't have time to call you back. I apologize.
Oh,
That should not be.
information from Toby.
Because that should come out of legal.
No,
But-
that actually should be Gerner and Kearns. That check should,
Yeah.
that's Gerner and Kearns.
What page is that on, Leslie?
It's on
It's
page
toward the back.
19.
19?
That's, you guys have
So
already,
that makes-
that's the revolving loan.
That
the
makes
first
sense,
page
and-
was the 25,000 for Gerner and Kearns,
So
not the Bank and Kramer.
It's a typo.
so hopefully it is just a typo.
Well, we'll have to, no.
No.
It's not a typo. It
It
really
was-
went to Eubank.
Oh.
Yeah, if it's on that report, that's where it really went. It hasn't been mailed out. You haven't approved them yet.
Okay.
So yeah,
Boy,
what's the
that's-
ATV? That is the, that is the
$89.
Gerner, it's Gerner and Kearns. I did that claim.
Okay.
So we can pass all claims and invoices,
It
but
was
that
good
one?
Yeah, I mean, with corrections, because
With correction.
it should be Gerner and Kearns, not Eubank and Kramer. So you can do it with the corrections. It should be going to them, not Eubank and Kramer.
Thanks for catching that again, Mike. I forgot.
Entertain a motion?
Make a motion to approve the claims with the correction to the Eubank and Kramer claim.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
That's voucher number 8959.
A motion to adjourn. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Good night.
Yeah, there's haven't been mailed out yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, put that.
Why didn't
Take care of
we?
that first
Because
thing.
of the date, but I wasn't thinking
We're gonna,
we had that
we don't
3-week
mail
stretch
any,
with
yeah,
no.
we don't mail anything. Publish it.
Well, I wasn't thinking about when that last meeting was, but then it was 3 week, yeah.
Pick up the grass, if you look at it. And then, with that story, you might wanna put the fine for the first time up to $100.
Leslie, are you gonna give me a copy of this?
Grass. It says 1099.
1090.
It's gonna take and move that. Yeah.
It's the amendment for ordinance
Just type in
Tuesday.
1099, it'll work. It says here.
Do I need a copy of this?
They're slow, so we're only
Yeah,
getting.
it'll say up to, yeah, it'll say 1099, the first offense up to 100, the second offense with it.
Mike,
Second offense